because Monday the 31st of August is the next free day, which we have, or next available day for the hearing of Lieutenant Colonel Govender's evidence. We would like to use this afternoon to take Lieutenant Colonel Govender through his non-confidential or one of the non-confidential affidavits that he has furnished to us, so that we can use the time rather than wasting it and having to traverse that in the consolidated affidavit on the 31st of August. So we have agreed to those arrangements. Obviously, it's subject to the Commissioner's consent. What I should have done at the very beginning is handed up this draft so that you can have it in writing in front of you. But can I do that now?
You confirm the arrangement, Mr. Nipple?
Thank you, sir. Yes, we do confirm those arrangements and the timeline stipulated in it.
May I ask you to, thank you, Mr. Nipple. May I ask you to please read it into the record, Mr. Shaskalsin?
I will do so, Chair. One, the evidence leaders will ensure that the original in-camera application of Lieutenant Colonel Govender is published to the media on 21 August 2026. Two, any media organization proposing to oppose the in-camera application of Lieutenant Colonel Govender will file an answering affidavit on or before, it's Tuesday 25 August 2026 at 2 p.m. Lieutenant Colonel Govender will file a supplemented in-camera application together with an affidavit containing that evidence which he proposes to give in camera on or before Tuesday 25 August 2026 at 1400 hours. The supplemented application and the affidavit referred to should be in paragraph 3 above, not paragraph 2, will be filed with the Commission but not disclosed to the media unless and until the Commission rules that the relevant proceedings should not be held in camera. 5, if any member of the media or Commission wishes to oppose the in-camera application, 5.1, they will file their answering affidavit on or before Wednesday 26 August 2026 at 1400 hours, and Lieutenant Colonel Govender will file his replying affidavit on or before 27 August 2026 at 900 hours. If it is necessary for argument in the in-camera application to be heard, the Commission will hear argument on or after 27 August 2026 at 1630 hours, meaning on or after 4:30 on the 27th of August. But not necessarily on the 27th of August if it doesn't fit in with where the Commission is. Lieutenant Colonel Govender will file his consolidated non-confidential witness statement on or before 900 hours on 28 August. Lieutenant Colonel Govender's evidence will continue on Monday the 31st of August at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, but can you please explain paragraphs 2 and 5.1? Aren't they addressing the same subject?
You're absolutely right, Chair. So,
except that, let me just look,
yes.
Except that 5.1 read with the intro or the main part of the paragraph also refers to the Commission, whereas 2 does not refer to the Commission.
Chair, I think if we change 2 to will give notice on or before Tuesday 25,
okay, right.
I think that is what I originally had in mind.
All right.
If I'm trying to salvage
all right. Thank you.
My dignity in this process.
Thank you. With those changes, a ruling is made in those terms. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. At this point, might I ask to be excused? Mr. Musikidi will be leading the evidence of Lieutenant Colonel Govender.
Thank you. Can you please, Mr. Shaskalson, arrange for a proper ruling then to be made for signature by the Commission Secretary?
I'll do that shortly.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You are excused. Good afternoon, Mr. Musigiri.
Afternoon, Chair. Afternoon, Commissioners. Chair, Lieutenant Colonel Govender will take an oath, Chair.
Thank you. You will be swearing.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth? The evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. If so, as you've done already,
Yes, sir.
please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Colonel, you should have with you a file, written file 1. Chair, will be using one file with possible reference to file 2, but for now, let's concentrate on file 1. The only reference that the Chair might want to have to file 2 is if the Commissioners want to check the Regulation 10.6 questions that he's speaking to in his affidavit. But anything else will rely on file 1, Chair. In file 1, Chairperson, there's one preliminary affidavit, and then there will be a second statement that also called the first supplementary statement by the Colonel. Colonel, can you confirm that you have file 1 with you, which is a statement file?
That's correct. I do confirm, Commissioner.
Yes, and then if you flip over to the first page, you will see that there's an index to statement, and it will say preliminary statement of Colonel Govender.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. And then you will see that when you go to the next page, being actually page 1, then that will be the start of the statement. And then if you go to page 28 of that document,
Sorry, page
28.
28, okay.
Yes.
And what do you?
Yes, we'll see there on the top right, there is a signature on top of deponent. Can you confirm that to be your signature?
I do, Commissioner.
Thank you. And then you confirm that the contents of the statements here are correct and still abide by.
Yes, I do, Commissioner.
Thank you. And then I want you to go to page 1. Thank you. Because he still has to supplement his statement, some of the annexures are not attached. We haven't been finished with them. So some of the paragraphs will have to skip because they will not make sense without those annexures. But I will guide the witness when we get to those statements. And also, Chair, you will see that part of the first pages of the statement deals with the administrative exchanges between the attorneys, and that will not make any sense to read that into the record because we have now reached an agreement that was read into the record by Mr. Charles Carlson, Chair. Now, Colonel, I want you to start at, so I want you to read your record into the name, your name into the record, and then I want you to start reading into the record from paragraph 1, and I will stop you when you get to paragraph 4, and then I'll tell you where to go to from there.
Okay, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner, my name is Dina Dayalan Govender. If I may spell it for the Commissioner, it's D-E-E-N-A-D-A-Y-A-L-A-N, Govender. I do hereby make this oath and state as follows. The contents hereof are, unless otherwise stated, or where the context is clearly indicates the contrary, within my personal knowledge and belief, are true and correct. I am presently a Lieutenant Colonel employed by the South African Police Services. I am attached to the DPCI's Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation Unit, Serious Organized Crime Unit, Durban, and currently the Acting Unit Commander. I am also the head of DPCI Provincial Tracking Team in KZN. I am properly known as Dina Govender. Number 3, I deal with my appointments in a greater detail to set out in my CV and later on this affidavit. Due to the time constraints, I shall prepare a bundle and documents upon which I rely and deliver it separately as soon as possible. Number 4.
Yeah, thank you. So, Chair, when you get to paragraph 4, it starts with the events of the 10th of June, 2026, and really it refers to the engagement between Colonel and this commission in preparation of his testimony, Chairperson. And from paragraph 4 to paragraph 14, can you confirm, Colonel, that deals with the engagement? Maybe you can just summarize. Can you confirm that paragraph 4 to 14 deals with your engagement to the commission? And, and just summarize the essence of that without going through.
I confirm that, Commissioner. I had engagements with the Commission's investigators, and I reached out to the evidence leaders as well.
And, Chairperson, when you go to paragraph 15 on page 4, so from paragraph 15, Chair, to paragraph 23, there what's contained is a reference to correspondence between the attorneys, Chairperson. And Chair will see that file 2, it contains the actual correspondence letters between the attorneys, and it will not serve any purpose for the witness to traverse those correspondence.
You said up to which paragraph?
To paragraph 23. 2-3, Chair.
Thank you.
Colonel, can you confirm that from paragraph 15 to paragraph 23 on page 7, there deals with all the correspondence between your attorneys and the commission?
I do confirm that, Commissioner.
Yes. Now, I want us to pick it up from paragraph 24 then on page 7 in terms of your evidence.
May I proceed?
Proceed to read into the record paragraph 24, yes.
Thank you. Paragraph 24, I respectfully submit that it is in the interest of justice and for a fair, proper hearing that I be allowed the opportunity to supplement this affidavit when the latter documents become available. I shall, however, attempt to the best of my ability to furnish as much detail as I can at this stage in response to Regulation 10.6 notice. Paragraph number 25. At the outset, I wish to record that I feel that I am being unfairly targeted by Mr. Len John of IPID and for ulterior purpose. For the reasons that I will appear hereinafter, it is my respectful view and submission that I am being used as a pawn to discredit Lieutenant General Nkonazi, the Provincial Commissioner of KZN. It is common knowledge that this commission was established pursuant to the allegations made by him. Paragraph number 26. On Sunday, the 16th of August, 2026, I received a telephone call from a known person. The importance of the call was to request me to implicate General Nkonazi in the shootings which John referred to. I have the recording of the phone call. I have requested a transcription of it, and I will make them available to the Commission. From there onward, Commissioner, if I could, while I'm at paragraph 26, is to refer to the supplementary affidavit 1.
Chair.
On the same file. Page number 2, Commissioner.
Chair. Chair,
Commissioner,
the supplementary statement is a separate statement. I'm just trying to make sure that the Commissioner has found that statement that the witness wants to make reference to. And you want to start at page 2 of that document?
Yes, page 2, paragraph 6, Commissioner.
Perhaps before you do that, Colonel, can you confirm on page 5 of that document the signature there to be your signature?
Yes, actually page 4.
On page 5 on the
okay.
raid, top right.
He's correct. Page 4, and then on page 5 is the Commissioner of Oath.
That's precise, yes, bottom right.
Yes.
And do you confirm that to be your signature?
I do confirm that, Commissioner.
And you confirm that this is your statement?
I do confirm that, Commissioner.
And you stand by the contents there too?
Yes.
Yes. Then you wanted to take chair to page 2
Yes.
of the document.
I
Yes.
want to take the Commissioner to chair to page 2 and paragraph number 6. And I'll proceed, Chair. On Thursday, the 13th August 2024, I was approached by a certain known persons to have an informal meeting outside the building in which HIPOD offices in Durban. I duly did so. They told me that I should look to protect myself and not anyone else, that I should give evidence to the Commission on this basis, that I act on the instruction of Lieutenant General Nkunazi for the police shootings, that policemen, businessmen, and drug dealers and politicians wanted me to throw him under the bus. I was threatened with being arrested for 172 cases and bail denied and being poisoned. He telephoned the Minister of Police, Minister Senzo Nkunu, in my presence. He also told me that he is very close to John from IPOD. Paragraph number 7.
Colonel, before you go to paragraph 7, can you give us the name of the person that called you on the 13th?
Yes, the person that approached me, Commissioner, his name is Mabuso.
Can you give us a full name, Colonel?
I can give you his full name. It's Mabuso and Tandani. Could be wrong with the pronunciation.
And then how do you know him? Because you say he's known to you?
Yes. Commissioner, I've known him for a few years, and I've known him to be close to Minister Senzo Nkunu.
Sorry, can I go and when you say close to, you know, we've had many allegations in this commission. Brown Mukhosi is close to this person, so and so. You've seen them together. Why do you say they are close to the minister?
Commissioner, I'll come further on.
You'll deal with that later.
Yes, yes,
okay.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right, we'll take that for now then. Please proceed to paragraph 7 then.
Paragraph 7. On Sunday, the 16th of August, 2026, at approximately 10:14, I received a telephone call from one of the persons who had met on Thursday before. In this conversation, he made serious allegations against Lieutenant General Nkunazi, and again sought to influence my evidence to the Commission to falsely implicate Lieutenant General Nkunazi in police shootings. I attached Mark DG1 and independent transcription thereof. Paragraph number 8. On Wednesday, the 19th of August, 2026, the aforesaid caller phoned me at 10:36. He continued in the same vein in his previous conversation, and the independent transcription thereof is attached here, marked DG2, 9.1.
Sorry. In paragraph 6, your use of they did not make me think that you were talking about more than one person. because these days that's what people normally do. They will be used so as to cover all persons, including non-gender conforming people. So I understood your they to mean that, or to refer to that. Now I see in 7 that you are referring to more than one persons.
Yes, Commissioner.
So who were the other people
Yes.
that you are referring to in paragraph 6?
It's a good point, Commissioner. For clarity, there was another gentleman that, I don't know his name, that accompanied Mabuso.
So that, were you seeing that person for the first time?
No, I've seen that person before as well.
But you don't know who
I don't know his
who
correct
they
name.
are. And do you know where they work?
Commissioner, they in business, according to them, but in political circles as well.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now, in 7, was it Mavuso that called you, or was it that other person?
It was, Commissioner, always Mabuso that
All
called
right.
me. Yes.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you, thank you.
We at paragraph number 9.1. Earlier today, being Thursday, the 20th of August, 2026, at approximately 6:47, the caller called me again to call me to a meeting. I attended. The caller was in company of another person, and I'll refer, as Commissioner said, to the same person that he always accompanied with. The meeting lasted approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes. In this meeting, the caller continued to persuade me in line of what I have described herein above. In order to convince me, he made a phone call to Minister Senzo Nkulu. The Minister of Police who spoke to me, I recognized the Minister's voice as I had other occasions spoken to him. 9.2. The Minister inter alia asked how I was, told me that this is a very nice country. We must not let anyone ruin this country. He comes from the struggle. This reminds him of the apartheid days. I should tell the Commission that I'm getting instructions from Lieutenant General Ngunazi for the police shootings. 9.3. The caller called me at 15:54 today, told me inter alia
Sorry,
that...
Colonel, today would have been the 20th
Yes, that's correct.
of August.
That would have been the
Yes,
same
okay.
day. Yeah. The caller called me at 13:54 today and told me inter alia that Lieutenant General Ngunazi's contract would be terminated as it was not awarded properly and things are going to be bad. Attached hereof marked DG3 as an independent transcript thereof. Paragraph 10.
Colonel, the meeting in paragraph 9.1, where was that?
Can I mention it, Commissioner? I'm willing to mention it.
Are you going to mention? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Commissioner, it was at Coastlands Musgrave. Coastlands Hotel, ma'am.
Just clarify, Colonel, how did so the last part of 9.2, you say the minister said to you, you should tell the commission that you are getting instructions from General Mkhwanazi regarding police shootings.
That's
so
correct.
how did your conversation with the minister end?
Commissioner, there is a recording that will be played. But in this conversation, Commissioner, what happens is I'm respectful towards the minister. So he speaks to me for a lengthy period, and that can be transcribed here as well. You could hear. And I listened to him, and in there he asked whether I have kids. I said, yes, I got 2 kids. Do I live in 2 countries? No, I live in one country, South Africa. That's our conversation, and towards the latter part, he ended off with that.
What I'm getting at is, did you agree to do as he said, or you just kept quiet and said bye-bye? So how did it end, the conversation?
I said yes. I said yes, Commissioner.
You say a transcription of that call, the call referred to in 9.1, may be played. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, Commissioner. So amongst
how would you lay your hands on that?
Yeah.
Or how did you, because it was the other person calling the minister, so it's on their phone, not yours. How did you come to have a transcript of that?
So what had happened, the meeting I had recorded between myself and the Mavuso and the second person.
Okay.
But that call was made from Mavuso's phone that he always called me on. And when he spoke to the minister, you could hear before that he spoke in Zulu. And if I could recall correctly, he said, no, I'm Saba, I'm scared. And he thinks that...
It was he who was scared.
Me.
Oh,
He's referring
he
to
said
me.
you were scared.
Yes, he's telling the minister that I'm scared.
Okay.
Saba, and he said to me that I'm under the impression that Slansa, which is General Kunazi, is close to the number one, which is the president. So, and then he thereafter passed his phone to me, where I spoke to the minister, but it wasn't on loudspeaker. So I was just responding to the minister talking to me. Now I recognize his voice because I've met him twice before, and I know him.
So what the transcript would show is what you said, not what the minister
No,
said.
it don't show what the minister said.
Okay.
It's what I said. My response, Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Does the recording carry his voice?
No, Commissioner, because it was not on loudspeaker from Mavuso's phone. I didn't want to tell him put in loudspeaker. It would have become suspicious then.
Okay.
Because it was in a sort of a restaurant and people were around us, a bit of noise. Okay. Some of the recordings are extremely clear and some were in places like, example, outside iPod was a bit noise of the cars. For example, this here was a restaurant and you could hear people close to the kitchen making noise. And
No,
you
thank
could hear,
you. I am answered. Thank you.
Yes. So 9.3. Sorry, I finished the number 10, paragraph 10, Commissioner. May I proceed?
Yes.
I have retained an audio recording of the phone calls received from the 16th of August 2026 and the meeting of earlier today. I wish to give evidence about these calls, the meeting, and the meeting. Play these recordings to the Commission. Well, there's some typographical errors. I have obtained an independent transcription from Sneller recordings of the content of the phone calls to me on the 16th of August 2026 at 10:14, 19th of August 2026 at 10:56, which I attach here to mark DG1 and DG2 respectively. I have requested for an independent transcription of the meeting held earlier today and the other recordings. I will make those audio recordings and transcriptions available to the Commission and evidence leaders. I am also attempting to ascertain video surveillance footage of the meeting held earlier today. I will also make such evidence available, which I did, Commissioner. It came through today. Paragraph number 12. Okay, I'll stop right there, Commissioner.
Yes, Chair. So what we have, so we have the audio of the 16, that's DG1, and the one on the 19th, DG2, those have been transcribed. We have tried to reach an agreement with the Kenya that we can at least play one of them. I think the shortest is 4 minutes that we can play. Alternatively, we can just go through the transcript. But I'm in the chair's hands, what the chair prefers, which will be more efficient. My first prize will be to do the audio, Chair.
The 4-minute one?
The 4-minute
Okay,
one, Chair.
let's do that.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, before we forget, in that last sentence where it says, I'm also attempting to ascertain video footage, I understood you, Colonel, to say you have provided it.
Yes, indeed.
That's in the last sentence.
It was fetched today, Commissioner, from the hotel.
You have it, Mr. Msikiti. And
Chair.
if you do, should we not be giving it a number, as in DG3 or whatever?
We do, you will see that on the index, it's the reference to Commissioner. So the video will be item number 27. And we can, I'm just not sure on the numbers where we are on the CJCs, but it's itemized on the index. 7 years, that will be the video recording. So that's on the supplementary statement. May I propose that because we only have 6 items, then we see how we can marry that to the supplementary affidavit or consolidated affidavit when he brings it in, then we can just align it properly there so that we don't misuse or duplicate the CJC numbers. But I think for now, because it's 6 items, we can manage.
For purposes of identification, though, you see the transcripts themselves are DG1 and DG2, but what about the video clips themselves? For purposes of identification, don't we have maybe exhibit numbers or
We can,
or whatever?
yes, what we can do, Chair, when you go to the index, what we can, so it's DG1, DG2, DG3, so we can continue from there so that at least we don't lose the exhibit, Chair. So we can do item 5 being audio recordings as DG4. So these are annexures, Chair, to his statement.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing that we went up to DG3, then we just say 4, 5, 6.
Thank you, Chair. That will make sense. And then when the consolidated affidavit comes, we can deal with it in terms of the CJCs, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Then you play your first one.
Thank you.
Same thing what you're telling me now.
Because they say you can't do this alone, and you were given instruction to someone. So now you can't let yourself suffer alone and your family. So why?
So who is saying that someone is?
Sorry?
Who is saying that someone is? Instruction.
They say maybe the big man here in KZN, you see. Because they say you can't do this alone and you're not going to go down alone.
Yeah, but which big man, Baba?
That if one needs to follow with the transcript, it's on page 18. You will see that it just mentioned unidentified male. Okay, Colonel, this big man. Is that correct, Colonel? Is that where we are?
That's great.
Thank you, Chair.
Which 18? I'm looking at 7. I'm looking at 7.
Yes, Chair. Sorry, my apologies.
7.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, the recording, Commissioner, you were saying it's 18, page 18.
7.
Oh, page 7, yes, that's correct.
Yes, no, we're going to 7.
Yes.
You're talking about. There's 2, yeah? There's 2.
Yeah.
It's Sonona and Ngunazi.
I think both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them. Even they say even you, You put them under the bus, you're going to come free. But if you don't put them in the bus, they will make you suffer, and you're going to stay for your life in jail.
Yeah, I can see the pushing in that angle there. The pushing very
so,
hard.
I don't know what you say in your mind, but think twice. I know you're gonna come out of this if you think properly. I know you're a little bit confused because this storm just come from nowhere. You understand?
Yeah.
But if someone is in the storm, you can't leave him alone. We are here for you.
Yeah, you're my brother, you. But tell me something now. I'm just asking you. So where are you going to take me if I go? Or where about we going to?
I think on my option, on my side, because I have the connections on direct to number one of the country. I think number one of the country must take you and sit down with you without telling anyone.
Yeah.
Please, because everyone knows you are doing good job in KZN. You're doing good job in KZN. Everyone is happy now because of you put your life on the line because of to save people, right? Community. Yeah. So the other stuff there, but it's gonna. But please, let's meet tomorrow so that you can facilitate this thing. You understand?
Yeah, no, but what they're gonna ask me what I must do? I don't know. What I must do?
No, let's talk it tomorrow,
okay.
Kenneth. I'm with you. You're gonna come out, but as long as because now, Kenneth, you can't suffer alone. You understand the point?
You know, it's so unfair what they're doing to me. You can see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's unfair because this case is Kenneth, they're 172.
Yeah.
So 172, each case is life sentence. Each case is life sentence.
I know.
So they're gonna make you serve, and they're gonna block the bail or for you, or even the whatever. But you can't go alone because we know who you are.
Yeah.
You understand? KZN has got a peace right now because of you.
Yeah.
Yes. So you mustn't just treat you like you are like anyone. You understand my point?
You know, I've never done anyone anything, and you know what? Everything I help people, but for what they're doing now and trying to set me up, it is sad. It's hard so, brother. It's hard so.
That's why I say I'm with you. As long as you come back to a sense of understanding.
Yeah.
Because I know you are going through a lot and you are frustrated, and there's a lot of things keep coming out. You see.
Yeah, but who's doing this, Baba? Who's the McBride? Who's? I know it's coming from McBride. So who else, Baba? It's right on top. Maybe it's bigger people.
It's a bigger people, business people, politicians, drug dealers, all of them.
But they're after Nkunazi. Why they fighting with me?
Actually, they say all these things you were not doing it for your own instruction.
Yeah,
you understand?
But what I'm saying, why they fighting with me? I never do nothing.
See tomorrow. What time you're gonna be free? Because I need you to see agent early in the morning.
Sharp. Bye.
What time am I still gonna?
I'll phone you, Baba. I'll phone you.
Okay, Kenneth. Keep well, eh?
Sharp. Bye.
Sure.
Thank you, Che. And then you'll see that on page 12, it's the next transcript of the conversation of the 18th. And then you'll see that on page 13, that's on DG2.
Sorry, Colonel. The recording that we just listened to, who is speaking there?
That's Commissioner Mabusu. He's speaking to myself.
Okay.
Colonel, just to be clear, when you mentioned the word Commissioner Mavuso, is it Commissioner Mavuso or are you saying Commissioner
No,
Mavuso
I'm
speaking?
so sorry. I'm
Yes.
addressing Commissioner. It's Mavusu. No. Sorry for that.
The
I have a
last one-
photo of him here, Commissioner, if Commissioner allow that. I do have it on my phone here to see really who this guy is.
You described the second person at the meeting as, I think you said a business person, you said, or not?
Yeah.
And Mavuso, did you describe? I must have forgotten if you did.
Yeah,
I'm using the first name, I'm sorry, which may be disrespectful because I did not quite catch the surname. But what does he do?
Commissioner,
Ndandani or Ndandane?
so let me put it in this terms, Commissioner.
Mr. Ndandani, what
Yes.
does he do?
So they are sort of political runners in terms of business contracts, running around fixing. They call the fixers. They'll fix any problem up.
Okay,
So that's my understanding of them.
okay,
They're always together, these two guys.
all right.
So there is this footage that we have, which Commissioner will view at some stage, where we're sitting together with both of them and myself.
Thank you. Yes, Ms.
Chair, it seems to me that it's quicker to run through the transcript with the audio in the background. Perhaps instead of Colonel doing the blow-to-blow reading of the transcript, maybe we just play it through on DG2, if the Commission will allow us to do that.
Okay, please do.
Hey, Buta, sorry man, I'm in provincial office for the meeting.
Fine, how are you?
Hey, I was tired, Baba. I finished up late last night, 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. I came back early morning to work this morning.
So you're going tomorrow, right?
I'm not too sure what's going on. I think maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday.
Oh, okay. You are not alone. You are together, Colonel.
Hey, I'm worried, Baba. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Your problem is my problems. The good news is we know what we're doing. And our province is safe because of you. You're putting your life on the line. Yes, somewhere, somehow, but we know actually the good job we've done for this province.
But Baba, these guys going to keep attacking me. How are we going to fix this problem? They keep attacking me for what? How are we
They
going to
want you to expose big people.
Yeah, but what can I say? I mean, why are they doing
Because
that?
they say you're not doing this alone. There's instruction. As you wake up early in the morning, there's people you report to.
Yeah, but like, I don't know who are reporting. That's the problem. They keep asking you that over and over. They got the wrong perception.
Yes, maybe we report to Sinona or to PC. So I think if you report to Sinona report to PC. So both of them, there must be account. So you become a state witness.
Hey, Baba, my head is spinning, Baba. My head is spinning.
No, this thing is.
But why they after the big man PC so much like that? That man is doing his graph. Why they hate him so much? Ngonazi.
They don't like him because he's always honest, same as like you.
Yes.
Yeah, so they want you to put him under the bus, and also Sinona.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that man is no more here now. He's gone now. He bought his discharge. He's gone. He's sitting somewhere in a farm, in a Slati Indian farm.
Yeah, but you must account. You must account. So I don't know. But what is in your mind? Because you can't fight this battle alone, Colonel.
Papa, I only had 2 hours sleep this morning. 2 hours sleep.
Sorry?
I only had 2 hours sleep this morning because I'm preparing, for all lies. The allegations against me is frivolous and lies. I'm preparing from last night. 2 hours sleep I had. I didn't have nothing to eat.
Ish. So do you think you're going to win?
Yeah, but it's hyper guys should all work in one syndicate. You can see what they're doing to me. They're going there and lying. If you had an allegation, why didn't you call me and ask me? But you're calling me for other matters. Why do you go and go and the whole world is watching, go and put my bank statements up? For what reason? You know, why didn't you call me first and ask me whether you're going to account for it? Or, you know, whatever the case may be. But you liaise with me every other day for different matters.
No, it's jealous. It's jealous, and also I can see there's something behind this.
Yeah, but who's behind these guys in Aberdeen? Who?
I think it's also McBride.
I told you the other day, Baba. I told you.
Yeah,
I told you.
Yeah, it's McBride and also yeah. But it's gonna be tough.
But McBride is not working alone. McBride is not working alone.
They say, yeah, there are a lot of people there. They say 172 dockets, it was stage played.
Hey, I don't know where they got that figure from.
No, IP has got that thing. They say they got that proof.
Yeah, but if you got the proof, then why don't you come and arrest me? Why is going and putting it in the national television? You know, you're going to the commission and you're going then. How? These are old matters, Baba. It's not new matters.
Yeah, it's old matters. The old matters. Yeah.
Baba, who has said McGrath, Baba?
I think there's some other drug dealer and politicians as well.
Yeah, but if you tell me, at least I'll be able to figure it out. My head is not right now. I'll be able to figure it out.
I don't know when I'm going to see you. Can I see you tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I can see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is Thursday.
Yeah, come and see tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Yeah, come in the morning. We'll have a breakfast there.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Sure. Bye.
You're not alone. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Kenneth, I think you've made the point. We can reserve maybe part of the remaining audios, including the video, for when you return.
Yeah.
But I think you've made the point about the calls that you received. Are you happy to proceed on those bases?
I'm happy.
Can you just confirm that in the second audio, it's the same person or it's the same people as in the first one?
Commissioner Kumalo, I can confirm that. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Then can you go back to your statement? You should go to page 8.
I'm with you, Commissioner.
And then you pick it up at paragraph 27 on top.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
I have also ascertained that during 2013, John had requested the State Security Agency to reject General Gunazi's being granted the top secret clearance. This was at the point in time when General Gunazi was put on special leave by the National Commissioner. John accordingly obstructed the top secret clearance to be issued to Nkunazi at the time.
Colonel, at this point, are you able to provide, even when you provide your consolidated statement, any proof to substantiate this?
Yes. Commissioner,
Okay.
I have spoken to General Nkunazi and he indicated that he will come back and he has the proof. There was some sort of letter or email that was sent for the very same John to the state security agencies, and he happened to be the only lieutenant general at the time that never got the top secret clearance because of John.
So the proof you're referring to, it will come from General Nkunazi,
That's
not
correct,
yourself.
Commissioner.
Not yourself.
Not myself.
Okay. So for now, we can just not to expect anything in this regard from your consolidated statement.
Noted, Commissioner.
Okay. Then let's move on to paragraph 28.
John has failed to entrust the Commission with the information regarding the number of task teams and their activities in KZN region, namely the eThekwini District Task Team, which reports to Major General Keswa, the eThekwini Infrastructure Task Team.
Sorry, Colonel, maybe as you go along, if you could just say what each task team deals with, because the second one you do say it's clear it's an infrastructure task team, but the others it's not apparent what they're all about.
And perhaps while you do that, can you just explain when you say fail to entrust,
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, Commissioner, let me give some clarity there. So when Mr. John came to the Commission, he only spoke about 3 task teams. And even if you look at this page 8, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's much more than 6 task teams in KZN. And as Commissioner Bolo indicated, I'll go slowly through each one and explain so we understand. Sorry I'm going so fast, I'll go slowly, Commissioner Bolo, as well. 28.1, the Tikweni District Task Team, which reports to Major General Keswa. Now this team, it falls under the District Commissioner. So maybe I could go back first to give you a better understanding. None of any teams fall directly under General Nkunazi. So, and I'll highlight it as I'm going past. So 28.1, a Tikweni District Task Team, which reports to Major General Keswa. This team is set up to address infrastructure. It also deals with violent crime. Those teams are also involved in shootings. 28.2, the Tikweni, sorry, the first one was the District Task Team. I'm sorry for that, Commissioner. That was not. So the District Task Team is doing exactly what the Provincial Tracing Team is doing. So they just called District Task Team falling under the district of Tikweni. So they trace serious and violent crime suspects, police murder suspects, house robbery suspects, trio crimes, and they quite often in contact shootings as well. And Mr. John very well know that he's got all these matters at his unit from these very same unit, but he doesn't talk about it. 28.2, the Tikweni Infrastructure Task Team, have spoken about it. It also falls under General Keswa. And they're also doing the similar job and also involved in shootings. And those matters are dealt with at IPOD itself. Then we have the Inanda Task Team, which reports to Brigadier Mkhize and General Keswa. Now, this team is highly active than most teams. And Mr. John has maybe 4 or 5 times more dockets than the 3 teams he mentioned and mentioned to the Commission in terms of shootings. They deal with the greater part of Inanda and surroundings, which is extremely volatile and violent suspects, often hiding there. King Shlashwayo Task Team, that's Commissioner around far north, the Impangeni, doing the similar job, set up what the other task teams are doing as well, and also involved in contact shootings, engagements with suspects. The Tikweni Metro Police Task Team, which reports to Commissioner Nkunu at the Tikweni Metro Police, and some of these teams are integrated with the other above-mentioned task teams, including my task team. And quite often, they are also involved in many shootings, which Mr. John himself and his team is carrying those investigations. Doesn't talk about it. The Majuba Task Team, which reports to General Alexandra, and that none of the above task teams report to General Nkunazi, I mention again. And there again, those teams are also involved in police shootings. But what I'm trying to draw here and explain, Commissioners, is that John has specifically targeted the tracing team, which I command, the team of Pedro Rodriguez. Now, I want to give an understanding who's Pedro Rodriguez. Commissioner, this policeman is one of the bravest policemen you'll ever get. I don't know how many times he's been shot. Now, I'll give Commissioner an example. He was conducting a cash and transit operation around about 2019, and he was accompanied by a special task force member. There were many task force members, and there was a cash and transit that's going to happen towards Longoma. Now, they had the information on hand, and the commander of the team, Carl van der Pfeiffer, the late Carl van der Pfeiffer, was ambushed in that operation not far from the tactical members and subsequently fatally wounded. In that vehicle was a female who will bear testimony, and she's living today, that they shot her and she played that she was dead. Then they didn't fire more shots, she's alive. That shooting was gruesome, Pedro was there. There's another shooting that I can talk about. This is the longest shooting, commissioners, in history. 4 hours and 24 minutes, non-stop. I was there in the shooting. I was investigating the docket where they had killed the police murder suspect. And we in turn had information they had gone to escort. And there was a full load of Kumbi with heavily armed guys with rifles and ammunition. And this fight ended up into the mountains. And I would tell you, this was a long fight, and Rodriguez was there as well. A task force member got shot as well there. Mr. John doesn't speak about all the policemen being shot. He just says no one's got shot when he came here. This is the caliber of the policeman that we work with, including Pedro Rodriguez. And he's not who he's perceived to be as a thief or a rogue, and I'll defend him. Commissioner, if I can tell you, go back to another incident recently, let's say maybe a year ago.
Before you move on, are you willing to accept for a moment that at least Pedro Rodriguez is at least notorious for being a shootist, for being trigger happy? I mean, for example, if you look at just this incident involving Bevan Loftus, he discharged most rounds out of the guys who were there. So that kind of action seems to precede him in terms of him being very quick on the trigger. Would you accept that proposition at least, whether it's justifiable or not?
Respectfully, no, Commissioner, and I'll explain why. So we're coming back, we'll get back to the Morningside. Can I go back to Morningside? Now that you speak about the Morningside, let me get back there.
We'll come to Morningside.
Okay.
Let's stay on the track. We'll come back to Morningside. I just mentioned that just to deal with.
Okay. Please answer the question in whichever manner you see fit.
All right.
And if you are, I think in fairness, Mr. Musigiri, if he thinks he can address your question by referring to Morningside, he should do so.
Let it be, Chair.
Yes. We can go back to Morningside later.
Can I
Please
go back?
answer the question you want, in the way you want to,
Thank you.
You've been given the license. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. So coming back to the Morningside, you know, Commissioner, this information of the Morningside incident did not come from me or my team. And later we'll refer in documents to show that this anti-gang task team, how it was set up, and none of my members or myself shot there. But this information came from Pietermaritzburg, Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation Unit, Constable Matt and Colonel Nelson Naika. The information relating to the Morningside, and we'll get there now. There was an informer claim put there as well. I don't know who is the informer, but he was paid out.
Are you at some point going to focus on the shooting, because I think the...
Yes, I'm getting there.
All right, because the focus of the question is about...
I just want to give the Commissioner a small overview.
All right, okay.
Small overview.
All right.
So there's two claims put, crime intelligence gather information as well. Now, there was a build-up before this shooting, Commissioner. The focus was not Bevan Loftus and others. The information on hand they were working on was a triple murder that was in Green Park case where a couple and a 9-year-old child were shot dead. So that vehicle that was used there was somehow flagged with the sniper cameras, information gathered. Subsequent to that, on the vehicle was coming down the M13, and the police members that were there with Pedro Rodriguez and the other members stopped that vehicle. And in that vehicle, there was a guy called Ayanda Nzumela. In that vehicle was the AR-15, which was taken in a business robbery in Eastern Cape. After that, he had pointed out his premises in Hillcrest, where there was an R4 taken from the military.
Sorry, Colonel. I have no idea whether Officer Rodriguez will be called. Do you know, Mr. Msigidi?
Chair, not at this present moment. We don't have him lined up. Chair.
I'm raising that because perhaps it would be better to traverse this question with him. I think we are spending a lot of time on this now.
Yes, Chair. That's the reason why I don't want to go to Morningside for two reasons. He was not part of the group that did the shooting in any event, so he can't really answer. And the proposition really to him was a factual account that when the ballistics were done is that he did shoot. And in his own statement, it indicates that he shot most shots. But maybe let's not get lost.
Why don't we just not ask the direct question, and then the conclusion about being trigger happy and so on should be a matter of inference. Do you know or don't you know, Colonel, whether Officer Rodriguez fired the most shots compared to other officers who were part of the operation? Do you know or don't you know?
Commissioner, I don't want to speculate. I must just go back and see the shooting report.
So you do not know off the top of your head. I think let's leave it there.
Let's leave it there, Chair. Otherwise, we won't finish the statement.
Commissioner, I just want to go back where I finished off. So there was another incident that the bombers...
No, I think let's follow the statement in the way in which we were. Otherwise, we'll be all over the show. Yeah. 31?
I think, Colonel, yes. So on page 9, paragraph 31.
31, yes.
Yeah. So maybe start from then, read that into the record.
However, due to the time constraints, I am not in possession of all my bank statements and financial documentation. I will deliver a supplementary affidavit explaining those transactions as soon as I am in possession.
Maybe please start at 30 because you are addressing the Rule 10 notice in 31.
Noted, Commissioner, will do so. Furthermore, I was surprised to hear that John's evidence at the Commission when it was televised regarding the financial affairs of my wife and I in regard to the acquisition of our property and deposits made into various accounts. I was not contacted by any police officer from IPID, any fiscal authority questioning these transactions. I was not given an opportunity to answer those allegations to IPID before it was televised. I intend dealing fully and comprehensively with that aspect in John's evidence and the Rule 10 notice.
Before you continue, maybe you want to comment just to be fair to Deputy Director John, and you can take it for a fact that he did, Chairperson, provide us with a very detailed statement mentioning some of these task forces, and also where he gave us detail on the statistics regarding the conduct of the other shootings. It's just that we had to confine his statement to what we consider to be relevant for the purpose of the terms of reference and giving evidence. So please accept it that he did take us into confidence, and it's just that we had to reshape his statement to confine it to what we needed for the purpose of presenting evidence. So I don't think it's quite accurate to say that, I think the word used is to say that he has failed to entrust the Commission per se. He would testify and say that he did provide a very detailed statement, but we had to chop and change to make it more confined.
Yeah.
So please accept that in whatever criticism that you are entitled to attribute towards him, but please accept that he did give us a detailed statement, but for the reasons that I've just given to you, his affidavit came the way it is.
No, I accept that, Commissioner, but I just want to go back, because if I hear what Mr. John said, rifles were not recovered on scenes. Now, I brought statistics to give bundles to the Commissioner to bring forward. A lot of rifles where I was present was recovered. Explosives, I can quote different incidents where explosive was recovered. He says no explosives.
Yes, you deal with that later on in your evidence, but I just wanted to say, take that into account, what I'm telling you.
Noted, Commissioner.
Thank you. Let's proceed then where you deal with the financial transactions on paragraph 31.
Yes. However, due to the time constraints, I am not in possession of all my bank statements and financial documentation. I will deliver a supplementary affidavit explaining those transactions as soon as I am in possession of those documents. In these regards, I beg the indulgence of the Honourable Commission to allow me a reasonable opportunity to obtain the source material before responding to the request made in Regulation 10 notice. Paragraph 32.
Before you go there, Chair, just to give context, in this regard, Chair would remember that there was evidence to the effect that Colonel has to explain some transactions to his account. And one of the amounts, at least the total, was 2.3 million that was somehow linked to the payout for the alleged hit on Bevan. So we had asked him to explain those transactions. And here he says that he hasn't had a chance to consider his own bank statements, and he will do that in due course. And
I would just say there wasn't necessarily a link. It was a link made by Mr. Bevan Loftus himself, but there was no other objective basis for saying there is a link. Am I mistaken?
that's correct, Chair.
Yes.
But the question is that he had to, for maybe various reasons, to be fair to him, to explain those transactions.
No,
but you're quite right. There was no direct linkage that we can work on the link, on the hit.
I understand that.
Yes.
Commissioner,
and
may I respond, please? There isn't, I can stand before the commissioners, there even a single transaction coming from Mr. Clive Naika to my bank account or anyone else. And I will explain that in due course.
Yes, no, we understand that. That's why we want an explanation, because we want to know where they come from. Let's deal at paragraph 32, and then we can take it from there.
My attorneys had requested the Commission to provide me with copies of the bank statements on which it relies and make their affirmance against me. But the Secretariat has advised that the issue is referred to as the evidence leaders who will revert to my attorneys. At the time, deposing to this affidavit, there has been no response from the evidence leaders. I am therefore severely handicapped and cannot deal with those allegations at this stage. Suffice to the record and the source and advancing of the funds to me are all lawful and legitimate.
And Colonel, at this stage, you will at least accept that the position has changed, because we have provided you with this document, and your attorney can confirm that.
Yes, indeed, Commissioner. I can confirm that.
Thank you. Then we can move to paragraph 33.
33. Furthermore, John is not the initial investigators at IPOD, who multiple dealt with any of the complaints of the police shootings by members of these teams under my command. The complaints were previously investigated by other officers. He therefore has no first-hand knowledge in respect of those investigations and explanations by the members of the teams that I was in charge of. Paragraph 34. John misled the Commission when he stated that the teams that I was in charge of made no recoveries. And I think I addressed that to the Commissioners just now. There's substantial recoveries, Commissioner, which I'll give a database some point in time to the Commissioners. I will include a schedule reflecting substantial recoveries, weapons, ammunition, drugs, explosives, monies, etc., and the rest in the bundle that I will deliver. 35.1. Furthermore, John referred to the telephonic conversation between Naika and Bevan Loftus. Bevan. A transcript, therefore, was produced and tendered to the Commission. The voice recording was played at the Commission. A listening of the voice recording contains the name Puff. Yet he sought to have the Commission to rely on what, with respect, is clearly an incomplete and therefore incorrect transcription. The importance of this doctoring of the transcript and evidence will appear therein after. 35.2. My attorneys have secured an independent transcription of recordings, which was televised after being flighted in the evidence before the Commission. The independent transcription was done by Sneller Recordings. In it, the late Bevan is heard to have also said, as part of his utterances, you and Puff. Referring to the Nika and Puff, it bears mentioning that some 2 days after that phone call by Bevan, employees of Nika operating a tow truck, which were shot during March 2023, Kalicharan Puff, his wife and his child were shot and killed, and Bevan was identified as one of the shotters.
Chair, and Kennel, so what the Kennel has done, Chair, was to take the audio that we played, that was a recording between Mr. Nika and Mr. Bevan, and gone through it and picked up some of the things that we didn't pick up, and he has done his own transcription, and and what I would like to do, Chair, while we have had the video, the audio, I would like us to play it with a specific attention to what he says we did not transcribe properly in what we were provided with. And then he can tell the commission the relevance of that part that he says is important to his testimony, Chair.
Just remind me, I know from the transcript itself it was not long at all. How many minutes is it? Do you remember?
It's less than 2 minutes, Chair, if I remember well. So Kenneth will play the audio, and then you'll pick up what we say is not appearing on the transcript, and then you can inform the commission why you say that it is relevant in relation to your testimony.
Noted.
Okay. Chair, before we play it, I've been corrected to say that it is not the commission that transcribed that audio. It is what we received from Mr. Gregory Loftus, being the father, Chair. So
I thought so.
Yes, Chair.
So.
Thank you, Chair.
The roadster, Mr. Clive himself. How are you?
Yeah, Moses, yeah.
Like a lot of money, 2.5 on my head now, eh?
Who's here? Bevan, you.
Yeah, how you can phone Dane? How you can phone Dane to tell Dane to set me up?
I phone Dane, I don't even fucking know.
Me, I never ever fought with you. I got no problem with you, but look like you after me. You paying dinner, governor, you paying all the carols. You and Puff to do all these things to me. I never had nothing to do with you. I never minded your business. I got no flop with you. But Bali, you went out of your way to do all these things to me. You want to kill me and all. What kind? Bali, where's the numbers?
Are you making allegations against me, or are you telling me the facts?
I'm asking you, where's the numbers, Bali? I never do fuck all to you. Check your word, I'm fuck all to you.
Telling the people I killed Regan.
See our Bali? See our checker? No flop, you wanna kill me, right? No flop. The fastest lives the longest. Right? Laka.
So the Colonel is the only, I'm not saying it's not important, but is the only exclusion Puff, or is there anything else that you had to add in your own transcription?
No, Commissioner. The importance of Puff, why it was left out.
Is it the only thing that was left out? Is
Yes.
it just Puff only?
Yes,
All
Commissioner.
right. Now its importance is?
Yes.
Give us the full sentence that had the Puff.
Yes. So Puff is also alleged drug dealer. And he lived in Unit 11, Chatsworth. So him and Clive were friends. Clive Nika. So the importance here, he says the fastest live the longest, because the threat was made against Puff as well. Within a short space of time, Puff and his wife were going to buy.
Let's start here. I asked you to just either looking at whatever.
Yes.
Just read us the sentence that has Puff in it.
Okay, let me do that for you.
As is.
The voice recording contains the name Puff. That's on paragraph 35.
I want the full sentence.
The full sentence, I'll give you right now. A listening of the voice recording contains the name Puff. That's line 4. Line 4, Commissioner.
Where it says you and Puff.
Yes, Commissioner.
What we should have done, I thought I did hear this you and Puff, but I forget what the sentence was. Maybe we should have asked you to ask for us to pause it where it talks about Puff, so that maybe we could go back a few seconds and
Yes.
just replay that. Okay. But what's your recollection of the full sentence? You and Puff, what? They've put 2.5 on my head or what?
Yeah, something like that, Commissioner, when I hear the...
So, Chair, just to assist, the sentence would say, would start at saying, you are paying Dina Govenda, you are paying all the girls, you and Puff, to do all these things to me.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So the previous version, it said, you are paying all the girls to do all these things to me.
Okay, all right. Now, you were telling us the significance or the importance.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes.
So the parents...
Thanks, Mr. Musigidi.
So the parents were taking the young girl to buy doing birthday shopping, to have a party, and they subsequently were shot.
Puff being one of the parents.
Correct.
All right.
They were shot in...
The name is where is it now? Yes.
Kalicharan.
All right. Oh, please continue.
Subsequently shot with the high-powered rifles in Springfield Park area, together with the 9-year-old child. And that case, the anti-gang task team, because Puff was also alleged drug dealer as well. So we had taken the investigation over, and I explained earlier on the information came from Crime Intelligence Covert and Pietermaritzburg NPVC.
And as you say in paragraph 35.2, this is only 2 days after the phone call.
Commissioner, that wouldn't be 2 days. Is Commissioner referring to 35 point?
35.2.
No. I see the 2 days is referring to another incident.
That's another incident of,
Okay, all right.
of another tow truck, Roadstar.
All right, okay,
Yes.
all right. Is there anything else you want to say about the significance,
No,
or are you done now? All right,
that's it.
thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Musagiri?
And then you proceed, then let's go to page 11, where you deal with ad seritem to the parts of the aforesaid notice to the best of your recollection. You will see that on top it says at paragraph 2.1.
Yes.
Can you pick it up from there? Maybe if you leave it there and say that you will submit your CV
Yes.
in due course, then you can start with 2.2.1.
Yes.
So what we usually prefer is to have the question itself read and then the answer, because otherwise the response will be out of context, or we won't
Chair,
understand what there is.
I accept that,
Yes.
hence I said file 2.
Oh.
But the way they have answered, Chair, it does give context to what he speaks to. Perhaps we can do 1 or 2 questions, but if the Chair insists that we read the question, then we will do that.
Let me just look at 2.2.1 then and see.
Yes, Chair. So, okay. So, Chair.
Our preference is still for you to read the question yourself, and then the Colonel will read his responses.
Well, let's do that, Chair.
Yes.
So the questions themselves, or the regulation 10.6, it's on file 2.
Okay.
And it will be item 2, Chair. And that will start on page 2 as well, Chair, of the...
Thank you.
Yes, Chair. And then, Kennel, I'm going to read the questions to you, and then you will then read your responses there too.
Yes.
Yes, but if you want me to repeat the questions, let me know. So, Chair 2.1 deals with the details of your subs-DPCI career and your... Thank you. So, 2.1 we've dealt with, Chairperson, which deals with your subs-DPCI career and your current rank. Then we go to question 2.2, which says details in relation to the anti-gang unit, cash in transit task team, provincial tracing team, in the brackets, the task team. Then the question being, are the task teams separate units or one specific unit? So that's 2.2.1. Can you read your answer to that question?
So, must I read 2.2.2?
2.2.1.
Your paragraph,
okay, thanks,
your
thank
paragraph 37.
Sorry, Commissioner, I'll do that now. The anti-gang task team and the DPCI provincial tracing teams are separate units. There is no cash and transit task team. Cash and transit, police murders, and other serious and violent crime were also attended by the DPCI provincial tracing team. For convenience, I shall refer to the first mentioned task team as the anti-gang task team, and at the latter, the tracing team.
And then 2.2.2, when was each unit formed and what was its strategic objective? And you give your answer at paragraph 38.
Yes. I shall deliver copies of the written authority establishing the anti-gang task team and the tracing team. It records the dates and persons appointed to each of those teams and the strategic objective of each team, the dates when each one was formed, and the persons appointed to it.
Go to the next paragraph.
38.2. In summary, the anti-gang team was established on the 17th of October 2022 and was to be dissolved on 20th September 2023. 38.3. The tracing team was established on 6 June 2023 and was to continue until further notice. With the establishment of the tracing team, the anti-gang team was dissolved.
The next question is, what is your role in each unit? That's paragraph 39 where you give an answer.
I acted as the commander of the anti-gang team and the head of the provincial tracing team.
And then to whom does each unit report to?
The anti-gang and the tracing teams report to me. I reported to Brigadier News24 on behalf of the teams. Brigadier News24 in turn reported to Major General Sonona, who was the provincial head of DPCI KwaZulu-Natal. Brigadier News24 had 5 units of serious organized crime unit, including the CATS unit, Crimes Against the State, the TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission, reporting to him. The task teams are not a permanent structure, unlike the other units.
The next question is, what criteria are used to select the members of each unit?
The proposal to establish the anti-gang was made by the provincial head of organized crime investigations, KwaZulu-Natal, namely Brigadier P.T. Mbele. He therefore identified the members of the anti-gang team that he wanted to serve in it. Upon approval of the recommendation, a call-up notice was issued on the 17th of October 2022 for members to report to the anti-gang team.
Please proceed.
42. Although the information requested therein is not within my knowledge, but within the knowledge of the management of the SAPS, Brigadier News24, in his capacity as the Provincial Commander of Serious Organized Crime Investigation, Directorate for Priority Crimes, asked me for recommendations of officers when he intended forming the task team. I made recommendations on inter alia expertise in investigation, tactical penetrations, canine expertise, tactical response, crime intelligence, analytical monitoring, sniper cameras, and profiling. He also recommended certain officers from his section.
Colonel, question 2.2.5 and your response there. These two units, so the anti-gang unit and the tracing teams, are they subs or DPCI? What are they?
Commissioner, good question. Those are integrated teams.
They're integrated?
Yes.
So they comprise both subs and DPCI?
Correct, from the provincial commissioner and from the provincial head at the time,
Yes.
which was General Sonona.
Now, do members of the Metro Police form part of any of these units?
That's correct, Commissioner. Later on, we'll explain as we go along of the tracing team how they incorporated with different role players and external role players as well, how we incorporate them and for what purpose.
But all of them reported directly to you and you reported to Brigadier Nyuso?
That's correct, Commissioner
Thank
Kumalo.
Colonel, just while we are there, let me take advantage of this. Pedro Rodriguez, where would he fall?
He would fall under the Durban K9 unit.
And in terms
He
of
was
this-
not part of both teams, the tracing team or the anti-gang task team.
So he's not part of it?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, let's continue. We'll pick it up later then. Go to paragraph 43.
I'm with you, Commissioner.
Yes, please read that into the record because it's still answering the same question.
On the 2nd of June 2023, Brigadier Nyuso, in this capacity of Provincial Commander, Serious Organized Crime Investigation, Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations, KwaZulu-Natal, applied for the establishment of a tracing team. His request was approved by the provincial head, DPCI KZN, Major General Alias Sonona, on the 6th of June 2023.
Continue.
44.
Yes.
I was appointed in writing as the head of KwaZulu-Natal DPCI tracking team. The document also dealt with movement of Lieutenant Colonel P.K. Majola and contains details of the movement of Lieutenant Colonel P.K. Majola from crimes against the state to Durban EPR, which is Economic Protected Resources, a deal with kidnappings and so forth.
And then the next question is, how is each unit funded?
45. There is no extra funding of the teams. Members retain their ordinary benefits in accordance with their conditions of employment. Those are funded by the state. There were no extra costs incurred by the state in members serving in the anti-gang task team and the tracing team. Members seconded to the provincial DPCI tracing team remain administratively attached to their respective components and continue to utilize the physical resources, operational equipment, vehicles, allocated budgets of those components whilst performing the tracing team functions. Consequently, the establishment and operation of the tracing team did not require any additional financial resources from the DPCI, as participating in the components provided necessary logistically and operational support from their existing resources and budgets. I would like to explain this, Commissioner, if you allow me to. So, for example, this unit of the tracing team, we have a whole platoon of Pietermaritzburg K9. Although they work in our operations as arrangement, but administratively they fall under Pietermaritzburg, with their code, their finance, their vehicles, their firearms, and administratively. For example, Metro Police, they would come on board, and they're funded by Commissioner Nkunu, Metro Police itself, but they come with the resources, the cars, and simultaneously the tactical response team, they will fall under the Provincial Office of tactical response teams. Everything is done administratively by them. They causes funding, equipment, vehicles. So that's what I'm trying to explain. There's no additional funding where you have to buy vehicles for, specifically for this team. Yes.
Thank you, Colonel. The next question, 2.2.7, the fatality rates in respect of task team operations in respect of which you have been involved, including the total number of suspects arrested in task team operations in which you have been involved, the total number of suspects killed in task team operations in which you have been involved, the total number of suspects wounded with gunshot injuries in task team operations in which you have been involved, the total number of SAPS members killed in task team operations in which you have been involved, and the total number of SAPS members wounded with gunshot injuries in task team operations in which you have been involved. And you give your response at paragraph 46.
Yes, Commissioner. At paragraph 46, I am currently not in possession of the detailed requests therein. However, information is sought can be obtained from the Priority Crimes Management Center, which is commonly known as PCMC. KZN, presently the person in charge is Colonel Mangule. And if I can also elaborate on this here, Commissioner. So every operation, every arrest, everything is accounted by PCMC. It is, we have to give a detailed report and they capture it at the province. From the province, it goes to national. So we are going to access it from them. They would have the accurate account of exactly what's required, Commissioner.
Then for the purposes of this question and incidents that we mentioned that you were involved in, do you need assistance from our side to help you retrieve some of this information so that they can form part of your comprehensive statement?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Commissioner. If we could get something in writing from the Commission itself and given to the acting provincial head, which is Brigadier Mulligan, she would gladly release those details, or information rather, to the Commission.
Yes, and we only interested in the ones that you were involved in. Then can we go to the next question, and this deals with the Morningside 5 shooting incidents. Question 2.3.1. Can you elaborate on the environment of the unit in the investigation of Brendan Puff's Kalicharan and family killings? Who was Puff and what criminal activities was he involved in?
Members of the anti-gang team did investigations consequent to the triple murder of the Kalicharan family. Puff Kalicharan, his wife and his child were killed in a drive-by shooting. The detail of the members of the unit in the investigation is contained in the police docket relating to 3 murders. I'm not in possession of the docket at this stage. Such information cannot elaborate further. Intelligence suggests that Puff lived in a unit in Chatsworth Unit 11 and was rumored to be a drug dealer.
And then the next question is, what evidence were you aware of in the dockets against Bevan in the Bele case number 7? There's a case number there. I don't think I need to read that to the record. There's 2 cast numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
So I do not have access at this stage to 2 police dockets referred to. I am therefore unable to respond meaningfully to the request made in some paragraph and access the dockets and answer the questions.
And then the next question, what were the reasons for the raid on the Loftus family home on the 13th of December 2022?
I filed a comprehensive affidavit in the interdict proceedings.
Sorry.
Yes.
Shouldn't you read 2.3.4 and 2.3.5 as well?
Yes,
because the response is responding to all 3.
That is so, Chair.
Yes.
So the next question, keep in mind the question that I asked before. What were the reasons for the raid of the Loftus family home on the 3rd of February 2023? And then the details of how you identified the location of Bevan Loftus in Morningside on the 1st of April 2023, and how you gained access to the flat where the suspects were hiding. And then you deal with all of that in one response at paragraph 49.
Yes.
Going forward.
Commissioner, I did give Commissioner a small background as to how we got there and to the premises and where it started, what led us there, and who led us there as well.
Are you
Please,
proceeding?
just read from 49 all the way.
No problem, Commissioner, we'll do that now. I filed a comprehensive affidavit in the interdict proceedings instituted by Mr. Gregory Loftus against myself and others under the case number D3437/2023 in the High Court of South Africa, KwaZulu-Natal Local Division. I do not have a copy of that affidavit at this stage. I am uncertain whether it has been made available by Mr. Loftus or Senior. Mr. Lenjon to the Commission, or to Mr. Lenjon to Commission, sorry. My attorneys have requested the Registrar of the High Court in Durban to make a copy available. She's presently trying to ascertain the court file. I also attended upon the state attorney and emailed the state attorney the request, a copy of the affidavit. My attorneys also requested it from the attorney who represented the applicant. I have still not received a copy of it. However, my receiving a copy of it, I shall forward it to the Commission as it constitutes the important evidence contradicting much of the evidence laid before the Commission regarding the Loftus family.
Colonel, at this stage, is it fair that as you sit today, you have obtained this affidavit, the complete application with the affidavits?
Yes, indeed, Commission. The Commission provided to us.
And we can deal in detail when you submit your comprehensive affidavit on Tuesday, yes?
Yes, indeed, Commissioner.
Thank you, but nevertheless, please proceed to read into the record paragraph 50.
Yes. Paragraph 50, without the benefit of the aforesaid affidavits and access to the police dockets, I record hereunder to the best of my ability and recall matters of relevance in regard to the Loftus family and their allegations.
Yeah, please proceed.
51, to my knowledge, no member of the Loftus family have been intimidated by any conduct by members of the SAPS. Obviously, if any such conduct had been engaged upon by other members of the SAPS, not in the anti-gang team, for any other reasons of which I have no knowledge, I cannot comment thereon. I make it clear, however, the members of the anti-gang team had not yet engaged any such conduct in relation to any member of the Loftus family. 52. As far as Bevan is concerned, I do believe that he did own a tow truck business called First for KZN, but I have no knowledge of his threats, assassination made against him, or information that was a contract to kill him. It is obvious that the insinuation is that such occurred at the instance of the members of the anti-gang team. I deny the same. I should also inform the Honourable Commission, when a member of the police is engaged in untoward conduct of any nature relating to their occupation, persons affected thereby are entitled to lodge complaints with, inter alia, the provincial commander of the unit concerned, the provincial head of the Hawks, the provincial commissioner of the South African Police Services. The Crime Stop hotline accepts anonymous calls, all of which are internal remedies, but they can also lodge a complaint with the external remedy provider, namely Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID. The judge is appointed to oversee matters involving the Hawks and the South African Police Service. This is a retired judge, Commissioner. I accept that I was the provincial commander of the anti-gang team, and therefore complaints, if there were any, would not be expected to be made to me. But there are clearly still several other persons to whom the complaints could have been made. Certainly, internally, the above-mentioned provincial commissioner and provincial head are my superior officers. For that matter, if a complaint was dissatisfied with the provincial structure approach, a complaint could have been made to the national head of the Hawks and higher up, the National Commissioner of the South African Police Services. I am not aware of any complaints relating to harassment, intimidation, threats, and the likes by Bevan in his lifetime or members of his family.
I think about roughly halfway through the paragraph, the line starting the Hawks, you said South African Police Service instead of South African Human Rights.
Oh, yes, indeed, Commissioner.
I assume you mean the South African Human Rights Commission.
Yes, indeed, Commissioner.
Commission. All right, thank you. Paragraph 54.
I also respectfully point out that Mr. Gregory Loftus Sr. is a former policeman holding the rank at the time of his leaving the police of a warrant officer, and he was employed in the specialized unit at the time, being the South African Narcotics Enforcement Bureau, which now falls under the jurisdiction of the Hawks, and he will therefore be expected to know his entitlement to lodge complaints. 55. Furthermore, in interviews given with either social or media or ETV, Loftus Sr. stated that he was being assisted by seasoned ex-police officers, who I submit will also know how to lodge complaints. Yet no complaints were actually lodged. Copies of the newspaper reports pertaining to the interviews given by the first applicant and a copy of a clip of the interview of the first applicant gave to ETV, which was aired nationally, will be made available to the Commission. 56. On 1st April 2023, Bevan and several of his colleagues were at the flat on the 6th floor in Morningside flat, Durban, when members of the SAPS called there to investigate a report of receiving illegal firearms being held at Morningside flat, to investigate a report of the persons in Morningside flat, alleged to be Mr. Bevan Loftus and members of the gang controlled him, were planning an assassination in Morningside flat if the circumstances required it to arrest such persons.
Did you mean a gang controlled by him? So you said alleged to be Mr. Bevan Loftus and members of a gang controlled him?
That's correct, Commissioner.
While you're there, Colonel, can you just explain, you say they were planning an assassination in the Morningside flat. Whose assassination, if you have knowledge?
I'm not sure of that, Commissioner. It was information received, I think, to the local police at the time because they were carrying rifles.
Okay. You can proceed on paragraph 57.
The information received aforesaid arose in consequence of the white Isuzu Baki subjected to have been utilized a triple murder of Puff Kalcharan, his wife and his child in Springfield Park. Approximately 1 week earlier was identified on cameras. Monitoring the traffic reported in SAPS, the Crime Intelligence Unit of SAPS in turn contacted the SAPS Durban K9 Unit and Pietermaritzburg National Priority Violent Crimes Unit and informed them of the same. I should add that I was aware that the vehicle was being monitored for a few days before 1st April. 58. Acting on information received of foregoing police units, together with the National Intervention Unit, apprehended the vehicle on the roadway and found the driver to be in possession of the illegal drugs and an AR-15 automatic rifle. That rifle was stolen during the robbery in Eastern Cape. However, questioning the suspect indicated that he had additional firearm in the flat in Hillcrest, and he was taken there by the said police. 59. As I was the provincial commander of the anti-gang team at the time, and bearing in mind that the rifle found in the vehicle had been used in a gang heist robbery, and my unit was investigating the triple murder, which was thought to be the gang-related, I was notified by the opposite police units as to what was happening, and even before they tracked the vehicle and apprehended the suspect.
Colonel, just there, when you say the vehicle was used in a gang heist robbery, are you able to provide us at some stage with further details?
With the rifle, in respect to the rifle, Commissioner?
The rifle, yes.
Yes, indeed.
Linking it to that.
To Eastern Cape.
You will give us something there.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you. You may proceed to paragraph 60.
Paragraph 60, however, I did not accompany them at the time, nor did any member of the anti-gang team. Even when they arrived at the flat in Hillcrest, I was not there. I was told by the said police of further rifle at the flat, and I was asked to come there as soon as I could. I did so together with a member of my team, Warrant Officer Thanasekaran Naidu, who is also known as Sivan Naidu, Warrant Officer Naidu. As soon as my duties allowed me to, other members of the anti-gang team arrived. I arrived there and questioned the suspect in the premises of other policemen. We ascertained that the R4 rifle handed over at Hillcrest flat had been stolen from the military. The suspect realized that he was in serious trouble and faced a long period of imprisonment. He then indicated that he wanted to come clean, obviously hoping that he did so, he would be treated more leniently by the court when it sentenced him. He furnished the important information about firearms and the gang of Bevan planning an assassination it could take place, including Bevan, but turned out to be the Morningside flats.
Again, when you were now talking to this suspect and he informs you, and you say he provided important information and about the planned assassination, at this stage now, because you are talking to the suspect,
yes, Commissioner.
Did you then become aware of who's the target or targets?
No, Commissioner.
And any details around that assassination, when it was planned?
No, Commissioner.
What exactly did he provide to you, except what you...
So, from the time he's providing the information, it was a quick plan, a quick operation, meaning which we had a short time to go to the flat. And that is why you notice there were less members and not more members. En route, I could recall that Captain Rodriguez was calling, for example, members who could assist for that operation. One being Captain China from Metro Police, who happened to be on duty that day, and one of the shotters. So he came at short notice. So it wasn't a planned thing where we waited for a lot of members. So it was a quick response to the flat.
So basically, okay, but we'll pick it up when you do the cross. But the point is that at this stage, you didn't know who the target was, and you didn't have any details as to when was this assassination planned, but you regarded this information as important.
Yes, Commissioner.
So there was no meeting at which the members of the task team were briefed about the operation. It was a matter of finding out that Bevan and his team are planning something, and you called whoever was available to accompany you there.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you, Colonel. Let's go to paragraph 61.
So if I can give Commissioner Kumalo one more example. Sorry, Commissioner. It won't take long. Captain China from Metro Police. So they work shifts. On that day, he happened to be on duty. That's why he was there.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you can proceed on paragraph 61.
On learning of this, it was obviously to us that such persons were dangerous persons and needed to be apprehended urgently, as the suspect had been arrested and was in custody of one of the other above-mentioned units, so to speak, charge confirming that he had seen proceeding where the additional suspects were in Morningside flat. In any event, being tactical response unit, they would make the first entry. Warrant Officer Naidu and I accompanied them in our own vehicle with the suspect who had been arrested. We left members of the anti-gang team at the flat in Hillcrest in case of anyone arrived there, in which event their presence could be investigated by those members. Now that will be the detectives of the anti-gang task team, Commissioner. That's it. That is how the police units mentioned above and came to be at Morningside. Although I had amplified letter herein at Warrant Officer Naidu, and I did not enter the flat until the shooting had taken place. 64. What I have indicated above will confirm by Constable Alford of Pietermaritzburg National Priority Violent Crimes Unit, who was involved in the shooting, involved in the interception of the vehicle and the subsequent events set out by me, can also be confirmed by other policemen involved.
Colonel, can I ask you, and you must tell me if my proposition is not correct. My fair understanding is that at least Bevan has been in your radar, i.e. has been a person of interest in your work.
Yes.
For various alleged crimes.
Yes.
Now you arrive at the scene and you are told that he's upstairs, and you chose to stay downstairs. Can you explain why you chose to stay downstairs with Warrant Officer Naidu?
Yeah, Commissioner, so the tactical members, because the information given on hand that they possibly could be harmed, going to conduct an assassination, and they would always penetrate the house first. Now, very importantly, as I indicated earlier, Pedro is from ex-NIU, Shabalala is from NIU, Megan Munsami is from NIU, Matt, which Captain Houston said that he's from a detective. He's not a detective. He comes from public order policing, and he advanced towards his task force selection. So he's also a tactical member. Captain China also underwent training with the special task force. These tactical members naturally will go first. We are detectives, so they'll penetrate the house to see if suspects are secured.
And you say that you only went up after the shooting had taken place?
Yes.
As far as you can recall, could you hear the shots from where you were?
Certainly.
You were standing?
Yes, I could hear the shots.
Were they all at the same time, or there were some pauses between them?
When a shooting happened, you can't really, Commissioner, to know exactly which shot, before, after, during, you know, it's loud bangs.
No, my question is, for example, by the time you were going up, there was no further shots being executed?
Now, I can't recall that, Commissioner. I can't comment on that day. It was just shots went off.
Okay.
The simple point is that the shooting had stopped when you went up.
Yes, indeed. Shooting had stopped. Oh, that was the trying.
And then on that score, lastly, and taking it up from the evidence by Captain Houston, he suggested that Warrant Officer Siva Naidu stopped him from entering the premises. Do you remember that incident?
Yes, indeed, Commissioner.
Can you explain, to the best of your recollection, what was happening there?
Yes. Normally, if an incident like this happened, if it's a shooting incident, we would secure the scene and prevent anyone from coming into the scene. Now, I know Captain Houston. He's a hard worker. So he's the first responder. And naturally, I said to Captain Sivan Naidu, well, he's now captain, you ought to allow him in, which I did.
And then there's an allegation by, or at least there's a testimony by Captain Houston that you said to him why he should be allowed so that he can identify the suspects.
That's correct.
Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain the context around that conversation with him?
So Captain Houston also deal with gangs in the surrounding areas of Wentworth and Newlands and Sydenham. Now, those suspects at the time were not identified. No one knew who they were. So Captain Newson, I think at a later stage, I recall, managed to assist in identifying them.
I think that's what I find a bit unpalatable, Colonel, that it seems to me, at least on the face of it, you shot, not you personally because you were downstairs, but
Yes.
people were shot. That they don't even know who they shot at, to an extent that you had to rely on Houston to identify them. What do you make of that? I mean, is that a fair observation, at least on the face of it, from where I'm sitting?
Yeah. My response to that, Commissioner, is that these were suspects in the flat. And they opened fire. And the police, Section 49, police defended themselves. Not to say that I'm looking for a specific person that I want to shoot someone.
Yes, no, we don't want to go into the purview of Section 49 because that's something else that we don't want to deal with. As Chair was saying, we're not investigating the extent and whether those were extrajudicial killings or not. I found it very disturbing that you would ask Captain Houston to identify those deceased, but that's just my observation. Maybe we can visit when
Yes.
you do cross-examination.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind, that it is of concern to me.
Yes, in all scenes normally we go to, we'll ask the neighbors, whether it's different places, can you identify the person? If someone is around, that's one of the things that we need to do is identify the person. If we can't at the later stage, we go to the mortuary and they identify at the later stage. That's for profiling suspects, yeah.
Perhaps I would have been comfortable with the word confirm the deceased or the suspects, not identify. But let's keep going, and we can deal with that later.
Noted.
As to why I'm saying that. But you may comment before you move if you want to.
No, as I indicated, Commissioner, this is straightforward. The suspects, whoever were in the flat, opened fire, police returned fire. And Commissioner, while I'm there were a substantial amount of firearms that were recovered. About 3 hours into the forensic examination, iPad, which Mr. John didn't say.
So is that not in the statement somewhere?
It's not here.
Oh, okay.
So I just, while I'm here, it's so important, Commissioner, I would like to.
I'm not stopping you.
Sorry. Yeah. So iPad, a senior assistant director in Mobo, was with the forensic team, and they found 4 additional firearms in the secret compartment. There's 2 AK-47 and 2 pistols. And Mobo came out and said to me, hey guys, did you see what we found inside? I said, what? He said, more rifles. So there's about 7 firearms, a large amount of money in small denominations. Drugs as well was found in the flat.
Yeah, but those were not used in the shootout, in the alleged shootout anyway.
One of those firearms came up
I'm saying those
ballistically.
that you say they were stashed.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
One of the firearms came up ballistically matching for the triple murder.
Yes, no, but I'm saying
Yes.
they were not used in dealing with the purview of Section 49. As far as
I'm not sure which firearms were used there.
Yeah, but I can tell you from
Yes.
what we have.
Yes.
As you said, those were found hidden
Yes.
somewhere else. So they couldn't have been used in any encounter at that stage. Let's go to paragraph 65.1. Are you there, Ken?
I'm here, sir.
Yeah, let's continue and read that into the record.
After the shooting at the Morningside flat, 197 rounds of ammunition, a large amount of drugs, an automatic R5 rifle being of a state issue and therefore not being allowed to be possessed by civilians, 2 AK-47 automatic assault rifles, 4 pistols, and almost 400,000 rand cash were recovered from the Morningside flat. These were entered in the SAP 13 register at Durban Central Station, reference number 2240/2023. 65.
Before you go there, just a quick one. Did you yourself observe this amount of cash and the firearms referred to there?
Commissioner, that was collected by the forensic team, if I can recall.
Did you observe
I didn't
any-
process the scene.
You didn't observe it,
No, I didn't process the scene.
but you went inside the building.
I did.
Hey, the question, did you see any of that?
I just had a brief appearance inside with Houston, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to,
Can I just ask a related question? You've given us the reference number of the SAP 13.
Yes, Commissioner.
So we should expect, if we look at that SAP 13 register, we should expect to find these items.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay,
That's correct,
thank
yeah.
you.
and I'm only asking you because the pictures that we have seen and probably will play during your cross-examination,
Yeah.
the amounts that were discovered, it's a huge difference from what you are showing us. We've seen 10 rands and on all of that, but we'll deal with that
Yes.
at the later stage, but also compare that with the SAP 13. Yes.
As I indicated, I didn't process the scene and enter the exhibit scene.
It's in your statement, but let's proceed
Yes.
to 65.2. Please proceed, Kenna.
65.2, as there are rumors circulating that the anti-gang task team was responsible for the killing of Bevan and others with him in the flat, which is denied, it is necessary for me to inform this Honourable Commission of the procedure that is undertaken when dangerous persons are sought, to where information available suggests that there are dangerous arms and equipment present. The investigating officers of the units involved in investigating a crime do not generally speaking make first entry or first penetration of the premises. This is left on specialized units which are known as the tactical response teams. On the day in question, the flat was approached by members of 4 separate tactical units. These were units from the National Intervention Unit, South African Police Service equivalent to the famous Special Weapons and Tactical SWAT unit in the United States, the SCPS Durban K9, Tikweni Metro Police K9, which had been summoned for backup by the SCPS K9 unit, and the Pietermaritzburg National Priority Violent Crime Unit. It was their responsibility to penetrate the premises to secure the same, meaning that it would then be relatively safe for us to, as investigating officers, to enter the premises to conduct investigations.
Kenna, something for you to also consider, and what I find, I need you to balance me when we deal with this. I understand your role is that you did not go in with the operation, but is it fair that you remain in charge of the whole operation, or is that correct?
That's not true, Commissioner. As I indicated, that information came from Pietermaritzburg. There will be Matt Alford and Captain Rodriguez.
At the moment you got involved, and at least when you got to Morningside, who was in charge?
It was Captain Rodriguez. He was leading the team.
The one who doesn't have a specific unit.
He has a unit that's Durban K9. Not the one that's sitting on the roadside that
Yes.
Captain Houston said, no.
Okay.
He isn't, yeah.
All right, but also what I also want you to deal with, but consider, when at least remarks are made, and I suppose in some instances, when accolades and awards are given, you seem to be acknowledged for this kind of work, to say you have done a good job, as if you were in charge of this thing. So you specifically, you are being called up to say you are doing a commendable job. But now, as we sit here, it seems to me as if you are trying to create some rift or distance between the incident that took place here and the overall operation.
Not really.
But before you answer, can we just clarify, Mr. Msikili, did that happen in respect of this operation? Because you sound like you're speaking generally, and is it something that has happened with this operation, where he has been acknowledged as the owner of the operation?
We will have to go back to, that's my understanding, on 2 occasions at least. And on the recording of General Cele, and there is also a further recording where there's award ceremony, and perhaps not specific to this incident, but to this kind of work being acknowledged, Commissioner.
Can I suggest you deal with it in cross-examination?
Indeed,
probing?
Commissioner.
It may be that you need to reframe.
Yes, no, it's fine. We'll do that, Commissioner. Kenno, then can we move to paragraph 67?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Whilst the tactical units made their way to the Morningside flat, we were initially in the basement parking of the building in company of the suspects, and we went to the 6th floor near the lifts, awaiting clearance from the tactical units that were engaged in the penetration of the flat. Other members of the police attached to one more of those units were also in the vicinity of the building, but not on the 6th floor. 68. I was told by members of the tactical units that when they attempted to entry, they were fired upon by the occupants of the flat, that they returned fire, and in the process, the occupants were killed. One of those occupants was Bevan, the others were Chase Finn, Michigan Hippolyte, Ryan Santos, and Sichle Zondi, all of whom were allegedly suspected to be members of the gang of Bevan.
Is there a name for the gang of Bevan?
The Hollywood gang.
Hollywood gang.
Yes. I have a photograph that, a picture, depicting where Bevan is part of the photo, and we'll provide to the commission. I think it's in the bundle. Next to him is a guy called Dane Majority, and currently right now there's 2 warrants of arrest. He's been convicted, Commissioner, and he's on the run right now. The police are looking for him. Amongst all the other guys, some are even deceased from the gang.
All right, let's continue on 69.1.
I must reiterate that when the gunshots rang out, neither Warrant Officer Naidu or myself, nor the other members of the police that I have referred to were in the immediate vicinity of the flat. We thus do not know firsthand what transpired in the flat when the shootings occurred. 69.2. It is in this incorrect for the persons to spread rumors that the anti-gang team was responsible for the deaths of those that died in the flat that day. I am aware that one such person spreading such malicious rumors is the Loftus Senior, and I say this because he has said so on national television, ETV, where he has named Warrant Officer Naidu and I. Paragraph 70. Yes. Constable Alford made a successful informer fee claim for the information leading to the detection of the Kalicharan triple murder suspects. In addition, Crime Intelligence Durban also made a successful claim for its informer locations. Ayenda Nzumela, the driver of the Isuzu Baki used in the Kalicharan shootings. 71. I do not accept for one moment that Bevan feared for his life in consequence of his conduct involving the members of the police. I wish to point out to this Honourable Commission that there does not appear to have been any report made to the police at any police station in the country by or behalf of Bevan relating to his harassment, intimidation, threats, and like, and I can state that no such report had been brought to my attention as the provincial commander of the anti-gang team. If such report had been made, it ought to have been thought to be brought to my attention. Even though I am the provincial commander, investigation to such complaint would then have to be taken to cause in which I was not directly involved. 72.
Is it not fair to say, at this point, even you knew that there was an interdict application where the father said, I fear for my son's safety. I believe that these people want to kill him. So in light of that, is there a need for a report to the police that he fears for his life? If you are aware that there's an application where such allegations are being made?
Yes. Commissioner, that would have been after the fact, because that application, if I can recall, was granted on the 5th. That was after the shooting.
Forget about when
Okay.
it was granted.
Yes.
When it was launched, I think it was the day before the shooting, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, Commissioner Kumala.
So at least on the day of the shooting, I don't know if it had been served on you at that point.
No,
It
Commissioner.
had not.
No, we only came to learn about it on the 5th.
No, then that's fine. But I think we can accept from the application that at least the day before the shooting, the
Yes,
father
indeed.
feared for his son's safety.
That's correct, Commissioner.
May continue.
Thank you, Commissioner.
72, I think.
72. Crime is, as is commonly known as in this country, widespread but violent crimes in the Wentworth area were not within the areas where investigations were conducted by any of the members of the anti-gang team, including myself. I must, however, mention that one of the reasons for the establishment of the anti-gang team was that suburbs of Wentworth, Sydenham, and Newlands in Durban were hard hit in respect of the drive-by shootings, emanating from the gang rivalries, drug trade, turf wars for some 10 years prior to the establishment of the anti-gang team. As the commanders of the anti-gang team, I am aware of this. 73. Upon its establishment of the anti-gang team has been furnished with in excess of 150 cases dealing with the incidents which have taken place past where the cases have been closed, so-called cold cases, from various police stations and are busy investigating the same. Considerably, a progress had been made investigating many of the cases. This was a time of consuming exercise and required several members of the anti-gang team to investigate, and some incidents being investigated were years old. These cases were in addition to active cases where investigations were being undertaken. I should mention that Bevan had been implicated and was thus a person of considerable interest in several of the cold cases. The then active investigations to which reference will be made at a later stage. Year under 74. I have read the transcription of the telephone call between Nika and Bevan provided to the Commission. I do not see confirmation of any hit on the life of Bevan. In fact, all that I read thereon is Bevan talking about money being placed on his head, but at no stage there were confirmation from person with whom he is speaking, namely Nika, if anything. I read the last words of Bevan on that transcript, the fastest live the longest, right lacquer, as being a threat of against Nika. Nika is the owner of a tow truck business called Roadstar. I have listened to the recordings played at the Commission. Transcripts is inaccurate and that it omits a material aspect which Bevan refers to as puff. I refer to the independent transcription from the Sneller recording, which I will deliver to the Commission.
Chair, we've dealt with this transcription earlier on, so we don't have to deal with it. Are you happy with that? We've dealt with that.
Yes.
Yes. Let's move
75.
to paragraph 75, yes.
As I indicated earlier, approximately 2 days after the aforesaid telephone conversation, a tow truck driver working for Nika together with the passenger were shot by 4 armed men, and both of them were seriously injured, being shot in the head, and they were hospitalized. That was on the 25th of June, 2023. The anti-gang team has been looking for Bevan to arrest him.
So that we understand, are you linking this to the telephone call to say that, or what are you saying here? What is the inference of this? And also in that, can we,
Yes.
in your affidavit, provide details of this incident in terms of the docket and so on?
Yes, indeed. This is the threats made on Roadstar, and subsequent to that, after that, the drivers were shot in this incident.
So your inference for mentioning this is that it could have been Bevan
Yes,
responsible for this shooting?
that's correct.
Okay. And you'll provide us with the details of that?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go to paragraph 76.
The anti-gang team has been looking for Bevan to arrest him on more than one charge in different cases. Since December 2022, we were unable to find the precise location of Bevan, even when confidential information of his whereabouts was furnished to us, such as he was at home on the night of the 13th December 2022, he managed to flee therefrom. The information on hand at all relevant times was that Bevan was not living at that residence and had taken a temporary residence other locations to avoid his arrest. 77. I should also mention that when Loftus Sr. was arrested on 13 December, I personally requested him to bring Bevan to the police station so that he could be arrested, and if he promised that he would do so, but never did. Furthermore, he inquired from me as to which case Bevan was being sought for, and I gave him the details, same by identifying that it is related to the incident in M7, which had been reported at Bel Air Police Station, and were being investigated by the anti-gang team. I suppose I could say no more than a short while later, on 20th December 2022, the complainant in this case was shot and killed outside the Moses Mabhida Soccer Stadium in Durban, together with another gentleman who was present and tried to mediate a settlement which he thought might have resulted in a case being investigated against Bevan, withdrawn by the complainant. 78. In the 10 years preceding 2022, shootings and killings in the Wentworth area had been on the increase. This was one of the reasons why the anti-gang team was established. Now, if I could explain to Commissioner here. So, there was an outcry from the communities and escalation of gang violence between Sydenham, Wentworth and Newlands. And it is because of this reason, the station commanders of, for example, Newlands, Colonel Mbele, Sydenham, Blose, and there was Wentworth, branch commander, was pushing for a team to be formed because the stations could not handle the sporadic shootings. Now, Commissioner, if I can explain, on one night, you would have 7 to 9 shootings between the 3 bases. And there were lots of other people arrested, Commissioner, and I will provide this to the Commission. Prior to the shooting of Bevan, there were lots of people being shot. There were innocent people getting shot. For example, at Nando's, there was a young girl, she was 19 years old, and in that shooting, she was shot dead. And Bevan was identified as the shooter in the car. That's another matter, just give an example. But it wasn't only about Bevan, there was other people shooting as well, rivalry gangs. So they've been arrested by the police, some been, there was a shootout between the police. So that's the reason the anti-gang task team was formed. It was a request from the mother body, which is the police, SAPS, to the DPCI. 79. It is true that there have been a number of shootings and killings in the Wentworth area involving drug gang known as Cartel. The leader of the Cartel gang, one Kyle Pretorius Para, was shot and killed in one of these incidents, 15 December 2022. But when the anti-gang team commenced investigation of several of these shootings and killings in Wentworth area, the name of Bevan kept cropping up. I know this as I was the commander of the anti-gang team and had access to my members to information of what they were investigating. He was certainly a person of considerable interest and shootings and killings, particularly as he was the leader of his gang, which was called the Hollywood Gang. On available information, the Hollywood Gang was seeking to take over the drug trade in the Wentworth area and found the Cartel Gang to be the obstacle in its part in that regard. 80. Bevan was responsible for shootings in that area according to the information supplied to the anti-gang unit during this investigation. It is certainly not any narrative started by the anti-gang team. In addition, I must inform the Honourable Commission that members of the Cartel Gang are not involved in tow trucks industry, own no tow trucks. Since the death of Bevan, a number of shootings in Wentworth dropped significantly to virtually zero. I have been...
What do you base that on? Is there a document that you can provide to back that up?
Yeah, this is what really happened. I'm talking about the gang, not only Bevan himself now, I'm talking about the gang itself. Remember, that includes Ryan Santos. Now, in one of the videos that we'll play to Commissioner, is here, Ryan Santos got AK-47, and he's firing amongst kids, rapid fire, at a place called Newlands. And that's a video clip that I'll submit to the Commission. So it was his gang, and the gang violence dropped drastically. That is why, and one of the reasons that they decided there was a new threat of cash in transit, and now the threat has to move to CITs. And this tracing team was now formed as a result. If the threat was still greater with gangs, we would remain with the anti-gang task team.
So for now, are you saying this is based on your observation, or there's something that you can provide?
There is some stats that I will be able to provide.
Okay.
Yes, and as indicated, there are other station commanders that still at their respective stations will come here and testify independently to say they have first-hand knowledge about Bevan, they have first-hand knowledge about Ryan Santos and all the other people. They would phone me at 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock and say, Captain, sorry, there's a shooting, come out here. I get home, I have something to eat, I'm back again, because that's how they were shooting. These guys weren't sleeping. So most of the crimes were even late at night.
Yes, no, it's fine. I found it very interesting that you would say just the shooting of one person or his gang.
No, it's not one person.
Or his gang, because
Yes,
you say
yes.
since the death of Bevan, the number of shootings in the entire Wentworth dropped.
Yeah, I say it's gang. I meant it's gang.
Yes, there's no gang there, but okay,
Yeah.
I'll take gang as well.
Please, thank you.
You can proceed to
82.
82 years.
I have been informed that ballistics examination of the AK-47 rifle recovered at the Morningside crime scene has been positively identified as a weapon that used in the triple murder and shooting of Puff Kalacharan and the family in Springfield Park, Durban. 8.3.1.
Okay, before you read that, let's read the question that you are
Just a
speaking
moment.
to.
Just a moment. Do you need to address the chair? No.
Honourable Commissioners, I've lost feed on the headset and I can't hear the evidence and questions being asked.
Okay.
I think the technician is on the way to try and sort of, if you kindly bear with me.
Let's take an adjournment. We'll come back to you soon.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Is it working perfectly now, Mr. Nipol?
Thank you, Honourable Member. It's now, battery's been replaced. It's now back working.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
When he said honorable member, I got worried. Colonel, we are about to go to 2.3.6 at paragraph 83. The question is whether IPID was immediately informed of the incident, and if not, why you did not notify IPID immediately after the shooting incident, and why you allowed members of the task team involved in the shooting incident to leave the scene before the IPID arrived. You deal with that at paragraph 83.
Yes. Paragraph 33. Furthermore, John is not the initial investigator at IPID who multiply dealt with any of the complaints of police shootings by the members of the teams.
Wait. Sorry, paragraph 83.
83, sorry, I'm so sorry, Commissioner.
Yes.
It's a long day.
27.
Sorry, Commissioner, it's a long day. I'm with you, Commissioner. 83.1. The protocol is for the police officers involved in the shooting to telephone radio control 10111. They would in turn contact IPID to the best of the knowledge on the day of the shooting. Radio control was in fact contacted. A team of IPID investigators arrived on the scene. I was not in charge of the operation. It's being led by Constable Matthew and Captain Rodriguez, together with the other members of NIU and Metro Police. I cannot recall now exactly who telephoned radio control.
Can you please explain this? My understanding is that you are the commander of this team. Why is it that you were not the person in charge, or am I mistaken in understanding that you are the commander?
Yes. Commissioner,
why, if you are the commander, would you not have been in charge?
Yes. Commissioner, if you could recall earlier on.
I remember you touching on that and saying even when this was happening, you were somewhere downstairs and so on, and that you were not leading the team. I just want to understand this.
So the information emanated from Pietermaritzburg for that information for the suspects. So they would naturally take precedence and be in charge of the scene. In terms of the tactical part, it would have been Captain Rodriguez. He is the most senior tactical member that will be in charge of the scene. That was his scene. But when the other role players arrive from the station, for example, the station duty officer, branch commander, they will now take over the entire scene. If it was my information, Commissioner, then I'll take full responsibility to say, well, from the beginning, it is my information, my responsibility. I am the commander of that scene. It is my operation.
Maybe, Colonel, the most difficult thing to understand is in any operation, why is the most senior police officer in that operation not in charge of the operation? Because you would accept that you were the most senior officer.
Yes, I will accept that, Commissioner.
At the flat?
Yes.
So because of that, why then were you not in charge of the operation as the most senior officer?
Commissioner, I facilitated and assisted and coordinated it after the fact. But in terms of the operation itself, that would be Captain Rodriguez who led the operation. But
it still doesn't make sense.
Can I maybe ask the question differently?
Yes, Commissioner.
You referred to Constable Matthew and Captain Rodriguez.
Yes.
And then you have mentioned the information came from or belonged to, I think you said, Pietermaritzburg?
That's correct.
Can you just locate Constable Matthew and Captain Rodriguez in the two entities that you say it was their information?
Yes,
Who was Pietermaritzburg?
Yes.
Who was from Pietermaritzburg?
Constable Matthew.
And then Captain Rodriguez?
From Durban K9.
Okay. And was Captain Rodriguez senior to you? What would have made him in charge ahead of you? Maybe just explain that for us.
No, he wouldn't have been ahead of me, Commissioner. I'm the senior person to him. But for that purpose of the operation, it was their information. If you go back onto the M13, he was in charge of the operation, the firearm was recovered. When you go back to Hillcrest, he was in charge and present when the firearm was recovered. When he got to the flat, after the incident, he was still in charge. But I will assist from my point of view as coordination or further assistance.
Thank you.
What's the relevance of the Maritzburg information for purposes of who is in charge?
Normally, Chair, is that when the information derives from a certain unit, they will register an inquiry. It's their information. They're in charge of that information.
I'm not talking about, I'm talking about being in charge of the operation, not just the information. Fine, the information comes from Peter Maritzburg.
Yes, Chair.
But now it's here and it relates to what's being done in Durban.
Yes.
So what's the relevance of that information if there's now an operation in Durban? That's what I want to understand. Because you emphasize this thing about information from Maritzburg. When I asked you the question, why is it that you were not in charge of the operation? You said the information was from Maritzburg and so on and so on. So what's the relevance of that information when we have an operation in Durban?
Yes.
What's the relevance of the Maritzburg information?
So, Commissioner, it's a, may I explain, continuous operation emanating from Pinetown, which the doctor has registered, Hillcrest, and back here. It was a continuous operation.
But then Captain Rodriguez is Durban, Canine Durban.
Yes, that's correct.
So, and he is the one who ultimately becomes in charge at the Morningside flat, correct?
Yes. Because
so meaning the fact that there was information from Maritzburg did not result in him not being in charge.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So he was in charge even though the information or some information originally emanated from Maritzburg.
That's correct.
So which would say to me that Maritzburg information was irrelevant for purposes of who became in charge.
Yes.
Correct?
Put it that way, Commissioner.
Now, back to my original question. Yes. Why was it not you that was in charge? Because this Maritzburg thing that you are telling us above has, as you've just admitted, become irrelevant.
Yes.
Why were you not in charge?
The Commissioner, in terms of, as I explained, I go back again. This is what happens in practice.
But please forget about Maritzburg now.
Yes.
You've accepted that it's irrelevant for purposes of who's in charge.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So it's a continuous operation, Commissioner. One don't want to interfere if it's running from one area to another area. If it's stopped at one stage and, you know, if it's another operation another day, I'm just giving you an example. Now, it was managed quite well by Captain Rodriguez himself before I got there. I'm not saying I don't take any responsibility. That's what I'm not saying, Commissioner. I assisted in every way I could as being a senior person there. But in terms of the incident itself, I'm not taking myself away from there. It's what was emanating to the scene. I assisted where I could. But naturally, it started there and he managed it very well.
I'll leave it there.
Is there an operational manual or national instruction that governs what we have just discussed with you? Because I'm not saying you are wrong or I don't believe you. I just have serious difficulty understanding how a junior officer, you would have to take instructions from them if they were in charge of the operation. So if they said shoot and you happen to be there, you would have to take instructions from them.
Yes.
And that I have serious difficulty with. If they said, let's leave the scene and not call IPID, you would have to follow their instructions since, according to you, they were in charge. And I have serious difficulty with that. So is there an operations manual or a national instruction that we can read for ourselves to ascertain what happens when police go to it's not a moving scene, it's a flat.
Yes.
And they go there because they believe that suspects are hiding there and are planning a different crime to the one that started somewhere else. Is there a manual that we can read that can give us an answer to this question?
Commissioner Kumalo, so let me put it this way to you. Even if the guy is a constable, the member itself, if it's his inquiry and his docket, no matter what the circumstances are, if you're going, for example, whether it's Komashi or Effingham or wherever it is, he will remain in charge of that investigation. That's his information. Although I might be the senior guy, he will request assistance from myself to say, well, I need this, I need
I think
that.
you've said that already, and I hear you. My
Yeah.
question is there an ops manual or a national instruction that says what you are telling us?
I can look into it, Commissioner.
Because there has to be a source document or a
Yes.
prescript that says this
Yes.
is how things work.
Yes,
Will you provide that to us so that at least going forward?
I'm going to look into it, Commissioner.
But can you answer some of the questions that are implicit in what Commissioner Kumalo says? So if that junior officer, who, as you say, could even be a constable, were to say, retreat, and you, the colonel, do not believe that you should retreat, you would retreat based on the instruction given by the constable.
So that
Can you please answer the question directly?
Sorry, Commissioner, I'm just engaging with Commissioner.
Okay.
That happens in, for example, POP. Now, a junior member cannot give an instruction to a senior member, public order policing. For example, if they're having a standoff at a right or something. But in circumstances of investigation, a junior member can guide you, but he can seek assistance from a senior member in terms of administratively.
Please answer the question directly in relation to an operation of this nature. There's a shootout, the police are deciding whether to shoot back or to retreat and run away, and the constable says, let's retreat, and you do not believe that retreating is warranted under the circumstances. Do you just obey the constable? Please answer the question directly.
Yeah, Commissioner, in circumstances, we must do that, Commissioner. If the guy is tactically trained, for example, so we must listen to what he's saying.
And you say that if we get a manual, it's going to bear you out on this.
Commissioner, I'll go and look into that. That's a bit of a gray area, but this is my understanding.
There can't be, no. There can't be a gray area. Surely there must be a command structure. And basically you are saying
Yes.
a constable can command you under those circumstances. Surely there must be a command structure.
There is a command structure, Commissioner.
I
It has to
don't-
be the hierarchy.
You know better, but I'm not willing to believe that there's any gray area on this issue.
So there is a command structure, Commissioner. As
Which
indicated,
is-
the senior member
Yes.
is a senior member.
Yes.
But administratively, if the junior members require assistance from the senior member.
I'm not talking assistance now. I'm talking because you say the junior officer is responsible for the operation. So I just want to get an idea of how far that goes. Does it go even to the junior officer instructing you?
Yes.
A constable instructing a colonel. Is that what you mean? Is that what you want us to believe?
Depends on what investigation we speak about, Commissioner.
No. I'm not being general here. I'm asking you
Yes.
about a specific one like this Morningside operation
Yes.
where there was a shootout.
Yes,
Let
yes.
us say instead of Captain, is it Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, yes.
Yes. Let's say instead of him, it was a constable that was responsible.
Yes.
Are you saying that constable could have given you instructions or orders, underlying instruction or order? Is that what you are telling us? And that you would have had to obey that instruction or order? Is that what you are telling us?
Commissioner, with regards to the shooting,
The entire operation and an order could have manifested in whatever
In different ways.
in different ways and for whatever purpose it could easily have manifested.
yes, Commissioner.
So you would have had to obey that order or instruction from a constable.
If it's in his inquiry and his investigation, that's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. I think the difficulty, Colonel, is that it appears as if you're trying to distance yourself from this operation. And the question will be why. I mean, for example, the simple question is, do you accept that your anti-gang unit was part of this operation? What's your response to that?
That's correct. Myself and Warrant Officer 7, I do.
You were part of this general
Yes,
operation?
that's correct.
Yes. And you say technically for the purpose of, I would accept if you said for the purpose of house penetration, you would send the most technical person. Remember I said to you, I would have said to you, my proposition is that Rodriguez will be your sharpshooter. You would send him to be in charge of the shooting. But the general operation, you will still be in charge. I think that's what we're trying to get at.
That's what I tried to indicate earlier on. Sorry, Chair, if I mixed my words up. I did say operationally it'll be Rodriguez.
No, remember, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
And I'm trying for the last time. Think about a bank robbery.
Yes.
There are guys who are going to go inside and do a stick-up. There are guys who are going to be like you, wait outside. And the person who's waiting outside can still remain in charge of the whole operation. So the fact that someone else went inside and be in charge of the stick-up does not necessarily mean that they are in charge. The boss could be waiting in the car in a similar fashion that you are waiting downstairs. That does not excuse you to say that you send the most, I'll say your best shootist upstairs. You remained in control, and you had interest in any event because you were looking for Bevan. But that's my last attempt. Otherwise, we'll have to leave it for cross-examination. What's your comment?
So my comment once again, Commissioner, I could be totally wrong. We do this every single day. And administratively, yes, I am there. Operationally, the most senior person will be in charge. That goes in the operational plan as well. When you're doing an operational plan, as to who's in charge, whose operation, where it emanated from, Commissioner.
Let me ask you a different question. These guys that are at the scene, have you worked with them before in other operations? Rodriguez, China, and
that's correct.
And in those operations, who was in charge?
Depends which operations. If they worked with me in my operation, I was always in charge.
But you've worked with them, so it depends on operation. And it's correct that in your statement you say, in fact, you seconded their referrals or to be appointed as part of your team.
Not Captain Rodriguez.
Not Rodriguez, but the others.
I'm talking about the anti-gang detective members.
Yes, detectives. Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll pick it up from when you do the cross, but please keep that in mind because it's still concerning.
I'm not distancing myself away from. Okay. I did indicate administratively, yes, I would assist him.
Yes. No, remember all of this, it's said with also the background that in your statement you say that there are rumors that your unit was involved in the shooting on the operation, and you say that's not correct, and the proposition is that you were involved. Whether you were sitting downstairs, your unit was involved, whether you're sitting on the basement or you went up, is one operation.
In terms of the shooting?
No, in terms of the whole operation, because you
were looking... we are part of the operation. That's correct.
Yes. Okay. And in any event, and my understanding, at least from our chats, is that you were not equipped yourself to go upstairs anyway. You know, is that correct?
Yeah.
In any event.
In the day in question, I was wearing a short pants, Commissioner.
Exactly.
I was wearing a short pants with my tackies. I wasn't prepared for such an incident.
Thank you. Let's move on, Colonel.
Is it what, 83.2 or
83.2? I've put a question to you. Yes, you're answering on 83.2 now. You've read the first paragraph.
Please read 83.2. The police officers.
The police officers that approached and entered the flat and who fired the shots were not members of the anti-gang team. They were accordingly not my members, neither Captain Sivan Naidu or being members of the anti-gang team played any part in the shooting. 83.3. Both Captain Sivan Naidu and I remained in the scene, even when I put the LCRC and Provincial Commissioner and the National Commissioner paramedics and local police station duty officers, district duty officers, DPCI Provincial Commander, Brigadier News24, Colonel Jacobs, Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nkunazi, the National Commissioner of Police, Lieutenant General Masamulu, and the former Minister of Police, Honorable Minister Tele, attended the scene. We were accordingly on the scene for a very long time.
Before I go to this is my very last attempt. Do you accept that, for example, remember in the robbery example I gave you, if people were to be charged with common purpose, the driver sitting outside, not doing the shooting inside the bank, will also be implicated as part of the enterprise.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Yes. Now, when you go to paragraph 83.2, I want to suggest to you that it doesn't make any difference to insist that your members, as you say, your members would have been you and Warrant Officer Naidu did not do the shooting because you form part and parcel of the same operation. Will you accept that, at least on that level?
Yes, I do accept that, because, okay, I'll accept it.
Okay. And then,
In fact, IPID is investigating this matter,
That's correct, Commissioner.
and
Correct.
you are one of the people that you and Mr. Naidu are part of the people that are being investigated by IPID.
That's correct. We're suspects in this matter, Commissioner Mulai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and then question 2.3.7, why did IPID and its investigating officer were not allowed immediate access to the crime scene when they arrived at the flat? And you deal with that at paragraph 84 of your statement.
Yes. I was not in charge of the crime scene. It was managed by the detectives from the local police station, to the best of my knowledge. The allegations made in this subparagraph is incorrect. Now, Commissioner, if I may explain, we also here, we're responding to Gregory Loftus when he put out the, and that's the reason we're going hard. For example, he said that, for example, if we shot, we didn't shoot. So this was a response here as well. Some of it were response to his application for the application for the interdict. And if you look here, that's why we directed, when counsel was drafting, senior counsel, some of this it's directing towards not as if we're not taking responsibility, but it was drafted in such a way to respond to Gregory Loftus' allegations.
Okay. And then we go to 2.4. Chair, we've had discussions with Kennel, and you will see that questions relating to 2.4 and 2.5, they form part of the application that will be submitted for in-camera for reasons that will be fully provided. But Colonel, and only if you are comfortable for the purpose of, because I know from what we've discussed is that it's not everything that relates to Mr. Naika that will form part of the privileged or confidential information. And there's only one incident that was put before this commission really, which involved you using Mr. Naika's vehicle in one of the cash and transit operations. Is there something that you're willing to talk about?
Yes, indeed. Commissioner, so around about, I could be wrong of the year, you correct me if I'm wrong, 2016, 2017, and so there was a cash and transit information, and yet again we come back, there was a Colonel Carl van der Pfeiffer, who's late now, who died in the last CIT. He was the coordinator and operational commander of this information. So we had staged up an area in Springfield Park next to Macro, and information was that the robbers would come in a certain car, and they would rob the van as soon as the cash van arrived. And we had about 26, 27 NIU policemen around, National Intervention policemen, a big team. But suddenly, so we were in the Mercedes-Benz with a guy named Neil Tomlinson and two other members. This car was identified already by one of the spotters, so we had to leave it aside. And subsequent to that, a A200 Mercedes-Benz speed right into the van, shots fired, they grabbed the money, whole hell break loose, the members are disorientated, suspect is shot down on the floor, shots are still flying. It's in a built-up area in the mall. It's like a, what's it called? It's the opposite Macro, value center. Now there's three members in the Golf 6 that comes off from NIU and chases A200. During that time, the purpose of this Bulletproof, the guy that's driving Nike's Bulletproof, he had some tow trucks as well that were sort of spotting the robbers. That was discussed the day before with Colonel van der Vyver, that because his tow trucks are there, it won't be conspicuous. We'll use it there and we'll keep surveillance. No one's really going to see if it's... So in doing so, the A200 is opening fire with the rifle. They shot his tow trucks, but he was sort of holding the back. The only other vehicle that could assist this Golf 6 was his Bulletproof at the time. So we had jumped into his Bulletproof. It was myself, Warren Sapande, and Neil Tomlinson, ex-dog handler, part of CI, was in that vehicle. And whilst the chase was on towards Parlock, suspects opened fire and they shot the tires off the Golf 6. And this vehicle was going on rims. And we started to push hard with this Bulletproof vehicle to keep the pressure on. And they went into a dead end. They took a wrong turn. And subsequent, the Golf 6 managed to catch up with the 3 NIU members. A long shootout, Commissioner, 4 suspects were shot dead, firearms recovered, and all the money was recovered as well. It was a long crime scene. So I had indicated to the source, this is the crime scene, or I indicated to the NICA. And you cannot move your vehicle because this is a crime scene. So it was there for like about 12, 13 hours. It became a problem later, Commissioner, where there was a big investigation as to, they didn't know the real story as assistance, how he was assisting the police in this incident.
And I think that the whole story about it, that the nub of it really was that you used, or at least the police used Nika's vehicle to chase down.
Yeah. So if I gave the real events of what occurred, in my best of my recollection, that's exactly what happened on the day, Commissioner. If it wasn't through Nika's vehicle, I can tell you these members would have been probably injured very badly, or something bad would have happened, and the suspects would have got away.
When you say then there was a lot of misunderstanding and investigation, was it about the use of Mr. Nika's motor vehicle?
Yes, at the time, Mr. Nika, so why did we use his Bulletproof in that operation? That was, other members were not happy with that, with Nika. So later we were called and there was an investigation, and I explained and said, no, listen, now we got the right story, you know. This was Carl van der Vyver's operation. He had met with Nika the day before to sort of plan this operation and see how we can curb it, prevent it.
So would there be a report of that investigation?
Commissioner, I can see if there's a report somewhere and get back to you.
Will you please
Yes.
make those inquiries? Thank you.
And to be fair to you, Colonel, when we continue on the next stanza, the difficulty is that the Commission had some evidence to suggest that Mr. Nika might be involved in the drugs. So it's not just using a civilian's vehicle in such instances, but because there is evidence that was put before the Commission that he is potentially a very prominent figure in the drug business, and that's where the difficulty comes in the bigger scheme of things, not necessarily just using a civilian's car, as it were.
So there's something that we applied for in camera that's a little of sensitive, that I will elaborate more as to who Mr. Nika is, and maybe the Commission will allow me, if the application is allowed for that purposes. He played a very important role very recently, very important role. Commissioner, if I can tell you, this is part of the Commission, the Commissioner was dwelling onto it, and it's because of him, there's something that happened. But we'll hear from Commissioner or the Chair if he'll allow this in camera.
Chair, we have reached the end of the statement on page 28. Chair will see that when you go back to the regulation 10.6, I have mentioned item 2.4 dealing with Mr. Clive Nika and his relationship, and 2.5, Mr. Tini Meromotu, and all those two will be dealt with in camera. And then what remains is 2.6, which deals with the Colonel's financial information. Colonel, perhaps let me leave it to you to explain that, because obviously it does not appear on your statement. What is the position there?
So all those funds, Commissioner, was legitimate. It wasn't a single cent from.
Is it not going to be dealt with in some statement?
It's going to be dealt with.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
let's leave it.
Yes, the long and short of answer is that he will deal with this in his comprehensive.
Commissioner, it was so hurtful for me. The whole world is watching what Mr. Len John said. With no proof, he accused me of taking money for heat and put in my bank account, which was never verified. He could never ever come up with a single transaction, but with unverified information. And I speak to Len John, Commissioner, on other matters. I got emails and trailing emails of other matters, so I'm very polite with him. But it hurts me because I've got a wife and I've got kids. I didn't steal the money from anywhere, Commissioner. And I will account before the Commissioner to say where I got the funds from. But right now, I'm so embarrassed. If I go, any of the people are laughing at me. My kids go to school, but I don't think so. It was very fair and premature for him to come right here, Commissioner. I'm not saying to Commissioner and the commissioners, I'm saying but for the rest of the world to watch. I've been in the police 30 years right now. It's the first time that I've come across allegations of the nature, especially by Mr. Len John. And I've also got charged recently for the Nangi matter. And it's the same people that want to charge me here again, and I'll prove to the Commission. I was exonerated after so many months for 37 charges or maybe more, because the same people again. I appeared in head office. I got attorneys which I'm still paying for now, and I won my case. But these are the same people which I'm going to bring out to the Commission that are doing this to me now again.
Thank you. We'll see the detail in your supplemented statement.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. We will adjourn now, and the hearing of your testimony will continue on 31 August 2026 at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And,
Thank you, Chair.
we resume at 9:30 on Monday.
Indeed, Chair.
Yes. Let's adjourn.